Climate change in Germany? No.
What?
And the Islamic side.
I didn't talk about climate change. Should
I know who
Rambo
did.
again before today. Who did climate change?
Yesterday we did, but anyway.
Yeah.
That
Howard
was
Eccles thinks everything is climate change.
that was fun. Anyway, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 297. Rambo plus this straight story. Veterans After War. Films in Conversation. If you haven't figured this out, this is a title by Maggie Mae Fish. It's Maggie Mae Fish Day. Yay. Welcome to the end of the month on Smudcast, where we cover Maggie Mae Fish every month. Oh boy, I don't know what this is about. I don't want to remember it. I don't want to think about it. I want to forget it as soon as I've heard it. So luckily, we'll have some commentary, and then you guys can have a good laugh, and we can just go on. That's what I hope every day with Maggie Mae Fish should be like. Just a thing that happened. You can't believe such a human exists. Talking about things she doesn't like Rambo and veterans, because she's the best person to talk about war and what it means to be in a war and all the problems and joys of killing people and training to do so and all the logistics involved. I'm sure she's very well versed in the war and military.
Supposedly she brought a veteran in to have the conversation.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, that's great.
That's what it said in the bio. I don't know.
So long as she doesn't start rambling and all. Like, remember she had that other conversation with two other artists, people, about
wannabe artists, more like
trans cartoons or whatever the devil they were talking about. And I was like, all right, that's nice.
I feel the need to remind everyone that this week was, I think, the highest density of pure insanity since Sunday. Or Saturday? Sunday.
When you say
we had two-parters of pure madness.
Oh.
And then Tabernacle. With overtime. I think I fell asleep at some point.
Did you? Oh, yikes.
I don't know. I just couldn't. And now we do this. This week is special.
This week is that's a good way of putting it. It's a special week where we had two-parters with a bunch of wonderful, wonderful videos. And why we did a second Tabernacle, I don't know, but you guys voted on it. That was probably the least painful out of all of it. It was just so like nothing. It was a nothing video. While he was talking about a video game he had very bad understanding of. So
I think this was a best of the worst week.
The best of the worst. Yeah, Maggie Mae Fish is going to be the best of the worst. Maybe. I think Tabernacle usually wins that prize, but you know.
Yeah, but the other three were pretty high up on the list. They need they all need pedestals. They all need their own gold medals.
Yeah, they are uniquely terrible, I have to say. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Dunn.
I apologize.
Hey, Dunn. How's it going?
Don't worry, we haven't begun.
No.
Can you tell us a little bit about this video? Have you watched it? Do you know anything about it?
He has seen it like 10 times by now.
Nope. I have not seen a single second of this video. I'm going in cold.
That sort of defeats the purpose of asking you for opinions, Dunn.
I just kind of looked at it and it's just like, okay, of the ones that we have not done, these look like the worst just from the optics.
Okay.
He has a horrible grandma sweater on in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what I don't know how, like, what flavor of bad this video is. I'm interested to find out though.
Okay. I mean,
y'all scared?
it's 25 and a half minutes of her rambling on about God knows what with Rambo. And you see, again, these creators, they have the gradation of the outline, and they just shift. I don't know why she shifted it to the left. I don't know what this is all about, but why they do that, I don't get it. But
So
It's
apparently,
it's so that we see
Rambo.
how fast they're moving.
Rambo.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gotta go
sorry.
far.
I haven't watched all of that. I haven't watched all of her videos. I need to just I just kind of looked at the stuff and just said, "Oh, these probably look bad." So I'll definitely watch more of them in future, just to kind of like give you guys and maybe like give you guys predictions of what craziness. Since I found the Fight Club where I just like, oh, she talks about like porn for like a straight like 10, 15 minutes, and just like you're like, wait, what? No way, that can't be true. And it was true.
Still
All right.
regret that day.
All right,
Yeah.
that was a memorable
Oh, boy.
one. I always wanted to cover the Fight Club
Yeah.
one. I wasn't expecting a '70s porn flick, but hey, Maggie Mae, what do you can expect? You never know.
Nobody is expecting Maggie Mae Fish.
Nobody expects the Maggie Mae Fish.
I don't think she knows what she's gonna do next month. Honestly, I think it's completely random, and she picks it out of a hat.
What I noticed is that like she's still running with this like terrible skit. Like she dresses up like this like I don't even know like what this outfit is supposed to be.
Weird,
Old
To
woman
give
from
you
the
weird
50s?
middle-aged
Extremely
Puritan.
unattractive.
This middle-aged Puritan.
But it doesn't work
Weirdo.
because like her skin looks too young for that. Like it looks would be okay if like it wasn't like
You're into older
100%
women,
like
huh?
makeup.
The older, the better.
Well, is she
Don't
so?
worry,
Yeah.
we'll surely get another video where she dresses up like a cat.
Oh no, please don't. That's
Oh,
if I have to
Oh,
Once
hear
was enough.
T.S. Eliot be called a fascist one more time, like holy crap, calm down, lady. It's like, oh, just leave the guy alone. He was totally a fascist when he was talking about cats. Like, oh my god.
oh, that's a great
We're
impression.
already for the Zack Snyder. I don't like Zack. A lot of people like just hate Zack Snyder because they think he's well. he
You
is
almost said
kind of
faggot.
Yeah,
So moron.
since he is kind of an Ayn Randian libertarian, just by virtue of just like the fact that he loves her books and he wants to make the Fountainhead.
Really?
But
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
but my problem is that like he claims to like those books, but then when he has to like prove them that like he understands what were on those books, like he completely fails.
I remember that interview with what's his face, the guy who plays Batman in his films.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. He was like, "Oh, this script is too intelligent for me," so I sort of nodded and went along. It's like, dude, you thought the script that the guy who wrote Batman v Superman was too intelligent for you? Really? Like, wow. What do you read, Ben? What do you do all day? Like, what? The script. It's so profound. It's philosophical.
Well, it's funny because they said the Marvel fan wouldn't understand the movie.
Yeah.
He'd be too smart or something. That's what he said.
which is hilarious because even the worst Marvel movie is better than the average DCEU movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. I know.
Well,
I
actually,
just
it's
watched
better
Sword
than
of the
the
Dark
best.
World. It was boring as shit, but it's better than BVS.
Yeah, it's better than Justice League too. And weirdly enough, Joss Whedon's Justice League is the best written and most coherent out of all of the DCEU movies. It's still bad, but it's the highest in the level of crap.
Yeah, and it's like
Unfortunately.
quicker to get through. That's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
most
it's
important
just-
thing.
Shazam is pretty good, I thought.
Okay. I would say that's more
I
palatable.
haven't seen that one.
It's more palatable than the rest. That's for sure.
It is definitely is. It's definitely more amusing. The other ones are really dour.
I guess that's what I
and
liked. I just didn't
stupid.
like. I was like, yay!
Yeah.
Finally, it wasn't a miserable experience.
The
Yeah.
direction was definitely much better. Like the less Snyder, the better. That's kind of like the point.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not in question.
And now they
It's
want to
actually-
bring him to Star Wars. Like,
What?
can you
I
imagine?
would honestly love to.
I thought
see
it
it,
was
though.
satire.
well,
I hope.
kind of I honestly just am really excited for just anybody who's not Ryan Johnson, and I would honestly love to see so many people who hate Zack Snyder to just just scream their lungs out in fury because he's going to ruin Star Wars worse than J.J. Abrams for them.
Okay, like I have like the dream team for you. Like let's slide the direct and Ryan just go right.
Oh yeah. Let's get
Um,
nuts.
or
Yeah, get-
or get
get on
or put well, why don't we just go the whole hog and let Uwe Boll have a Star Wars movie?
No,
Yes.
no. You know what this movie's about?
Hey, Wisp,
Don't
like,
give
I
them
know that
ideas.
he's like a
You
brother
know-
to you, but like the poster movie was pretty good.
Who was a brother to me?
Uwe Boll, because he's also German.
I fucking
Okay.
hate you. No, you know what Uwe Boll actually did? Why he did those movies?
to beat up Chris
tax
in a boxing match.
also tax cuts.
Not
Lots of
tax cuts. No. Worse.
You get paid by the government.
Kind of. Because we have a what do you call that? German Filmförderung, which is money given to mostly art students in order to help make their movies, in order to push movie making in Germany as a craft. And Uwe Boll's movies were solely a money-making scheme in order to get German movie funding into his pockets. That's why in all his stupid movies you have a minor part that was shot in Germany or has a German actor in it to just to justify enough percentages of the movie to justify getting the movie funding from Germany. It was all these movies are scams, complete fucking scams with $1 million special effects.
So, okay.
He
so I
never
guess
cared
maybe not-
about video games. He was just exploiting the fucking shit.
Okay.
Just like the guy
So-
who makes the Resident Evil movies and now the Monster Hunter movie.
Okay.
Oh, there's
Doesn't
a-
give a
maybe
shit
like,
about the material.
There's a Monster Hunter. What the hell is that going to be about?
Yes, there
Oh,
is.
it's already out. It's already out.
Yeah, it's Mila Jovovich, or what her name is the wife of the director, beating up a Black Diabolos with double swords with a fire enchantment on a Black Diablos. Like,
Oh wow, they actually
what the
did do
fuck
that.
is wrong with you people? What, because
So-
fire looks cool? Like, what the fuck is
So-
wrong with you people?
So,
Wow.
I just had a thought. Well, of who would make them absolutely furious. Todd Phillips, the director of Joker, making a Star Wars movie.
That's fake, right?
No, that's fake. That's just a hypothetical of something I think would be hilariously amusing.
if it was like a small budget film, that'd be awesome because he'd think in terms of I got to do this in like 10 weeks. Like what? What do you mean Star Wars in 10? It's not going to happen.
I'm still Hollywood. If you're listening to this stuff, I mean, you're listening to Doomcock. You can listen to us. I promise you, I can write you, because you take people like Ryan Johnson and J.J. Abrams, so I can write you something too. I can write you a noir detective story on Nar Shaddaa. Standalone movie. How about it? And you have some cameo Jedi Sith fights in the background on the rooftops that is just there for Easter eggs. How about it? We do that. We do a noir story on Nar Shaddaa.
Cool.
Huh? See? Come on, Hollywood. Come on.
Shall we?
Come on. Contact me. Come on. Can't be worse than the Abrams shit.
It would work if Hollywood would,
Alright.
yeah. and they would like look into the material itself. Because like, of course, like for us, it makes sense. Like an idea like that it could probably work and could sell.
Right, because fans of the series would know what Nar Shaddaa is. They remember it from KOTOR. Be like, yeah, this is perfect. Just do that.
Yeah, and that's what pissed me so off. Why invent this stupid place? What was it called? The Ryan
Canto
Johnson
Bight.
Casino Planet,
Canto Bight.
which is another just stupid name. You have Nar Shaddaa. If you just exploit everything that's been there already, just go to a place that makes sense and bring it to the because it hasn't been in the movies yet. That's something where you can still flesh out the movie universe. You could have done that. Nar Shaddaa is that's where you get your fucking illegal weapons from, for fuck's sake. That's HUD space.
Yeah. But Ryan Johnson is a very, very subpar intelligence monkey. So what can you do?
Well, there's a
They
lot
just
of
shaped him.
critics
He's a Jabbo.
who preferred Zack Snyder's version of Justice League because of the storytelling elements that were removed from, or apparently not even filmed in the original version. So you can make a great argument for like, yeah, it is better because those elements are there, but it's a 4-hour film. If you don't have some aspect of a character going through an arc of some kind in 4 hours, what the hell are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So
Also, it makes less sense than Joss's version.
I'm not sure about that.
It's a movie for fans.
I'm not sure. They're both broken movies. They're both broken movies, and I do not see how it's worse. They're just bad in different ways.
yeah, this is not like episode 8 and 9 in Star Wars. They're bad in different ways, but one of them is also bad in a very extreme way. And it's hard to say, what's your preference? Do you like really fast, stupid shit? Or do you like really long, stupid shit? Like it's just a flavor of dumb. What is your tolerance? So
I'd honestly, in that case, I'd go with the long stupid shit, because at least there you have some parts of the story, like Cyborg, that make some more sense. Because in the Whedon thing, Cyborg's just there, and that put me off completely. Because this character needs an introduction, a whole movie essentially. And at least the Snyder Cut attempted to rectify that part.
Yeah,
But we need a third cut.
I'm not saying it's done well, but at least it tried to incorporate that for this major element.
It's mainly like this the setup of like Darkseid doesn't make any sense. Like Darkseid kind of forgot about the anti-life equation.
Yeah, and he kind of forgot about one planet where he was beaten. What? That's the most biggest event in your fucking life.
Yeah, that's
the place where
I
everything
say.
comes together. You're beaten. You lose your shitty glorified tablet boxes, and you lose your anti-life equation. Like, this is the focal point of your life, you fucking idiot. And how can you forget it? Your whole army forget it. All your generals forget it. Your archivists forget it. How can everybody forget it? What both movies miss is setting up Darkseid properly. And I've had this argument in the comments. I did not get from the movies, because I'm not familiar with the comics, with comic Darkseid. It's a very interesting character. Bears explained some of it to me, and how this whole works with the multiverse stuff, and it's always the same Darkseid in all the multiverses. Like it's the same entity because he exists outside the multiverses or something. That's interesting. That makes the DC multiverse thing very interesting. And explains why there's so many universes that maybe that's how you can mess up finding the right Earth of all the Earths that are around. Like, this is the one where he lost his shit. But what the movie does not bring across is that Yes, this was a long time ago, but it does not bring across that this was a young, inexperienced, weaker Darkseid. I do not get that from the movie. That's missing in the setup, that's missing in the exposition. Because, from my perspective, Darkseid's this million-years-old entity. Or something. I don't know. Age infinite. And this is like what, a couple thousand years earlier? I don't see how that comes across, because when I just see the movie, just some idiot who doesn't know anything about the comics, I see the movie, and the worst villain of this universe thing, this DC universe, the worst possible villain of that is in the opening shot depicted as the most incompetent loser I've ever seen in any action movie. And I'm supposed to be scared of him.
Yes.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. And the movie's not telling me that this is a young, experienced guy. Yeah, he doesn't have his armor on, but I'm sorry, that doesn't bring that across.
It's in the
It's kind of-
subtext. You just gotta look for it.
It's kind of unfortunate that we aren't doing her Schneider Cut video.
Oh
it's
god,
just-
she did a
No,
Snyder
no,
Cut
no.
video.
What you meant to
Wait.
say is fortunate. Yes, it's fortunate we are not covering that.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah, well, I was saying it's unfortunate because, like, it would be pertinent, but then again, we still have to go to Rambo, a movie that I've never seen.
Really?
I
Really?
just know what happened.
oh really?
It's like the American Dream movie, pretty much.
Getting to
It's-
shoot up a whole bunch of people.
I always like how
Get to shoot cops.
we
Second Amendment, the movie.
I remember we always talk about when I'm on Weeb Day on Friday, we always talk about Go-Go 13, and we look at how he was created, and he was inspired by all the action films like Rambo, like James Bond, like all these other characters, and he just fits a certain mold of each, and he's just this amalgamation of a super spy one-man army operation. And there's two films with him, or two animated films with him, that one of them feels like a Rambo film with a little bit more story, and one of them feels like an assassin film. It's its own thing at that point, and the series is its own thing, of course. But that's I kind of like, yeah, they were inspired by the 70s and 80s to make this guy who is a modern day samurai doing his own thing, kind of like the original Lone Wolf and Cub, which was its own thing, the definitive samurai manga, and now we have the definitive badass sniper dude who just takes on these other concepts like James Bond and some aspect of an anti-political individual who just doesn't care about laws and rules.
Oh yeah. Like the creator of Go-Go, actually, he previously, before he began Go-Go in the 60s, he was working on an manga adaptation of James Bond. Like, if you check the cover for that James Bond manga, you can see like, oh, isn't that the Duke Togo?
Yeah,
Oh, yes, he is.
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. All right. Okay, we've got a few super chats to go. Let's get started. This will take some time, unless it's completely boring. Then we'll just whiz right by it. But I don't think it'll be that bad or that boring. Bad, and I got to be very careful when I say.
She usually has something weird to say about U.S. military veterans.
Oh God.
Well, supposedly she brought in a veteran, so
Well, hopefully she won't insult them. That'll be nice. So, let's get started. Kyle Rocket. She looks like a nerdy femboy Onesian with the intelligence of Amelia Bedelia.
Oh man, Amelia Bedelia, that is an obscure reference.
I don't-
Nice.
I don't know that one, unfortunately.
She is a maid from a series of short children's stories who takes everything very literally and doesn't understand fancy language. So like when you say dress the chicken, she makes little suits for the chicken.
Oh.
So, and she does that with a lot of things, like just poking holes, air out the laundry, like cutting holes in the laundry, stuff like
Right.
that. It's just kind of
See,
bonkers stuff like that.
that sounds good for kids' books because there's lots of terms and phrases that don't make sense, and then she takes it literally, and you're like, "Wait, what are you doing? Don't do that." So I think that's great for kids, but yeah, unfortunately, not for Miss Maggie Mae.
It's patriarchy.
Oh yeah, blame the patriarchy. Any turn. One more from Kyle Rocket. Oh, I got a better joke. She looks like the one kid in school who couldn't even get people to like her merely out of pity. Oh, jeez.
Ouch.
That's a burn.
Inaccurate. Inaccurate.
I'm sure she has other redeeming qualities, just not video making or essays or talking. All right, 2 more donations. Let's get going. Francis Board
Or being a
Coppola.
person.
Yes, my favorite anti-Semite is back to give her root ride of tism take about popular film. Wow, what a sentence. A root ride of tism take about popular film. Oh, and of course she's the best. She is the best YouTuber to talk about Rambo and war. I think she has more than enough experience about those topics than anyone else I can think of. Tyler Preston, one more donation. Oh boy, it's that time of the month where we visit the mind of our favorite crazy bitch, Mama Fish. Jeez, you guys don't hold back. Also, it seems that Heavy Metal Comics has overdosed on soy with their redesign of the character. What is that? Taerna? And being total assholes in response to criticism. Yeah, that's the sign of the
That
time.
doesn't sound metal.
Taarna, or maybe I'm reading that wrong. No, it's Taarna.
I don't know.
Tarna? Yeah, I don't know.
Never heard of that.
I don't know Heavy Metal Comics, to be honest. I haven't heard of them. Oh, we got a
Yeah,
huge
but
super
when
chat.
they act like that, that's not metal. Metal is different. Okay, she's a big boobed, awesome battle babe.
Yeah. Boo-hoo, I guess. I don't know. Is that bad?
Yeah. How can you fuck that up?
Oh, you can screw it up. Believe me.
Here's a cover that is too powerful, too big a file. Let's give you the image address. Maybe that works.
You can
There,
screw up.
that's Tarna.
Okay, I'll check it out later. Here's non-Vitae Rex. Thanks for the 20. Wasn't there a Star Wars comic about the Empire invading a planet, battling the natives, that long-armed, short-legged reptilian alien from Jabba's palace, and the Empire loses? Could be an interesting film. A comic about the guy from Jabba's palace.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm
I
not.
think of a similar race. I think of a similar race to the guy from Jabba's palace.
Oh, but there's so many weird aliens in that shot, so I don't know
Oh,
who that could have been.
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
I,
I'm
if
excited to see how, like, wrong she is about Rambo. That's
Yeah.
what I'm excited for.
yeah, I'd have to ask Shiny about the comics. I don't know if he actually knows about them either, but it's very that's a very specific question, so I would not know. And here's our last one from Tyler Preston. Fun fact about Takao Sato: he created a henshin hero manga called Chojin Barum 1 that was then adapted into a tokusatsu show. The same show was also the inspiration for Kamen Rider Double. Wow. Okay. That is very unique kind of genre in Japanese comics as well as.
But why is it better than Go-Go 13?
Is it?
Is it like what to even compare the two?
I don't know. I'd be curious to find out though. If it's a tokusatsu, probably not. But
Yeah.
it might be like extreme in some like violent sense, or the missions he takes on. It could be something like that. Very adult. Possible. Anyway, I think we're ready to go. Let's get started.
Alrighty.
Subtitles are on. Everything's grooving.
This video is brought to you by my patrons.
Oh,
if you want to support, head over
sons of
to
bitches.
patreon.com/Maggie Mae Fish.
Wait, this
And
is a
buy
paid
Curiosity
promotion?
Stream.
Oh, okay.
Not that I can think of. No long-term side effects. Oh, I gotta go. Sorry, I didn't see it there. That was my old recruitment officer conducting a survey of my time with MK Ultra. Today we have
I
two
wouldn't be
movies.
surprised,
One of them is
honestly.
big and loud, and the other one is small and quiet. But both look at the different challenges veterans.
I'm not sure of if that is a moment of self-awareness or she just thought it might be a good joke, but the irony is baffling. I mean, yeah, she's too young for MK Ultra, but she doesn't come across like one of their failed experiments.
Oh,
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's just like, man. I mean, look at her decor, and her clothes. Like, maybe she's stuck in time. Maybe she doesn't age. Maybe she's always been there since the 60s.
Well, that accent reminds me of a Canadian East Coast Newfoundland person, like an old lady.
Oh, does it?
Kind of, yeah. I don't know where she's getting it though. Like, I want to know, like, what are you trying to, like, what's your
This
impression?
This is
of
how they talk in Alex.
Scottish.
Trust me.
old
I
people
don't know.
around the world?
Maybe I just have bad ears.
I don't know. It sounds bizarre. Anyway,
After coming home from war, I had to give a bit of a warning that we'll be discussing some sensitive topics, including PTSD, and spoiling a few moments from Rambo and the Street Story. Though I believe a good movie can stand up even if we spoil a thing or two. So, let's take a look at these two films in conversation. So, to get the story straight, I'm going to first start with the real story. In 1994, 73-year-old Alvin Straight wanted to visit his 80-year-old brother, Henry, who had just suffered a stroke. Alvin couldn't get a driver's license because he could no longer pass a vision test, and he refused to let anyone else drive him. So, he decided to travel 240 miles to Wisconsin by himself on his lawnmower. After Alvin made the trip, Henry recovered from his stroke and moved back to Iowa to be closer to his family. It feels like a uniquely American tale, a simple, heartwarming story of the love between two brothers. And the 1999 film adaptation by David Lynch is, on its surface, also quite simple. You could argue on a scale of most Lynch to least Lynch, this movie is his straightest story. But Lynch himself would disagree with you, because of course he would. He has described The Straight Story as his most experimental film, and for my money, it's certainly his most vulnerable film, a pared-down story stripped of the surreal Lynchian aesthetics that we expect from his work. Lynch uses the feel-good story of Alvin Straight to deconstruct American mythology and weave a devastatingly emotional tale. One made even sadder when coupled with the real-life tragedy of its star, Richard Farnsworth. A year after The Straight Story was released, he took his own life after a long struggle with debilitating cancer. Alvin Straight lives a simple life. He wants to do things his own way. He speaks in plain, straightforward language.
Well, Tom, I got $325. That's a fact.
As Lynch unfolds the story, we start to see contradictions between what Alvin says and the life he's lived. Alvin will say both, family is the most important thing in the world, and then later reveal that he's been estranged for years from most of his family members. He's a proud veteran of World War II and the Korean...
what's wrong with that?
So, yeah, well, my question is, like, family's the most important thing, but he's estranged from his family. Those two things are not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder type thing.
Yeah, he could. There's lots of reasons why he could no longer be living with his loved one. They rejected him. He rejected them. Distance problems, money issues. There's all kinds of reasons. And just because you're estranged doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you're no longer living with them.
Wonder if she's projecting.
Well, you could make the argument they don't actually love each other. Like the family doesn't love each other, but it doesn't mean it's not important. Just because you don't love your family doesn't mean it's not important to you. So your emotional understanding... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it could also be that, like, kind of, he's saying family is the most important because that's a lesson he's learned the hard way.
Exactly. It could have been a painful estrangement because it was negative to him. It's like, wow, I lost everything. It is the most important part. You know, you could take this so many ways. Just because someone is no longer living with their family doesn't mean they don't care. It's like being, I don't know, breaking up with your... Yeah, it's like breaking up with a loved one, even in young age. It's like, yeah, that really hurt. That was really important to me. I don't know what happened.
Or even just saying like the people you had, like the girl, like boys or girls you had a crush on, like marrying somebody else. It's just like, oh, it's kind of that. There's always that kind of measure of like, oh,
yeah, it hurts.
That was me, but like I hope they're happy. Right,
it hurts, and you still care about this person, but that's life. What are you going to do? So these are two not mutually exclusive ideas that is not contradictory in the slightest.
In war, on his experience as a soldier while camping in Wisconsin. But later in the film, he describes the pain and trauma that war brought into his life that never went away. This simple, straight-shooting man is a walking, or lawnmower riding, pause for applause, contradiction. Okay, so let's talk about Rambo. First Blood, better known as the first Rambo movie, is the story of former Green Beret and veteran of the Vietnam War, John Rambo, who, like Alvin Straight, is also on a journey to reconnect with someone from his past. But while the Straight story ends with a reunion, in the first scene of First Blood, John Rambo learns that the old soldier friend he's trying to visit died from cancer brought on by Agent Orange, a chemical weapon used by the U.S. during the war. The local sheriff spots Rambo walking on a highway and demands that he leave town because of his disheveled look. Rambo refuses to obey and he's arrested. After being threatened and abused by the sheriff's deputies, Rambo breaks loose, and the rest of the film follows Rambo evading and ultimately waging war against local law enforcement and the National Guard. We tend to remember the character Rambo more from the action-packed, blood-drenched, violence-glorifying sequels and their many parodies than for what the film series actually started out as. We think of Rambo, the emotionless killing machine. But First Blood is first and foremost about his emotions. The PTSD he suffers from is a result of being tortured in Vietnam. Rambo is carrying the weight of loss and isolation as the last surviving member of his Special Forces unit. It's about how the system that sent him off to battle not only turns its back on him, but actively persecutes him for simply trying to live his life back in America. And unlike Alvin Straight, who speaks plainly and directly, John Rambo is almost speechless, usually standing silently with a 1,000-yard stare. These two movies feel like they couldn't be more different, and yet, thematically, they're strikingly similar. And that transition came courtesy of my 7th grade book report on The Great Gatsby and You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. Both movies show the aftermath of the pain and trauma that soldiers experience in war.
What?
Both movies show the consequences of a system that sends people off to die in battle, then refuses to offer mental health services to those same veterans when they return home.
Look at this. What the hell's he been into?
Who gives a shit?
Both Rambo and Alvin Straight are on a journey. Physically, they're on a journey to reconnect with people from their past, and symbolically, they're fleeing from the pain of their past. The Straight story focuses on the troubled relationships between the members of a family, and First Blood focuses on the troubled relationships between those who use violence to control our society and those of us who are subject to that control. Like every Lynchian film, the Straight story has layers. What's happening, and then what's happening around what's happening. There's a moment where Alvin camps by the side of the road for the night, and he's joined by a young runaway who's worried her family won't want her back if she tells them that she's pregnant. Alvin tells her a parable he used to tell his own kids. If you hold one stick, you can break it in half easily. But if you bundle a bunch of sticks together, they become strong.
That's
You mean fascism?
Oh no. I think that is an analogy that fascism has made.
I'm sorry, but I can't hear that metaphor anymore without thinking of the actual thing, because that's what the thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's everywhere.
But it's good when it's okay when others do it.
Yeah, of course.
There was a scene in the Smurfs where Papa Smurf explained that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
I think you're right.
Yes, I remember that.
Wait, the cartoon or the movie?
The cartoon.
The movie.
The cartoon
probably
series. I never saw any of the movies. And it's not
Oh,
a-
I
not-
didn't
not a-
bother.
I have heard nothing but awful things about the Smurfs movies. They're like the worst kind of kids movies.
Maybe you just hate blue people.
Now
Oh
watch
no, I
the,
like blue people.
watch
I
the
just don't like
cartoon.
ugly blue people.
watch the original cartoons by Peo, or what his name was. There was some even interesting stories with fantasy races that and dark magic users, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Here
The
is
only good thing about the movie is Hank Azaria as Gargamel.
Oh, yeah.
Here is Francis Ford Coppola with a rather unique donation. Babe, bring in some Cheez-Its. New Maggie Mae Fish lore just dropped. She's glowing. Then he says $2 for anyone who knows what it means to glow on this context.
What was his
She's
name?
Jake the
The
Surgeon
Holy
wanted
OS?
to said. I think it was actually Jake the Surgeon said, Give me $10 and I'll give me $10 and a few good men. I'll impregnate that lady."
Oh boy! Don't give him ideas. Don't give anyone ideas like that. Ugh.
If you want to know more, look up Temple OS.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no!
That
Oh,
poor
no.
guy.
What do you think of the video so far?
Pretty
It's-
weird. Not bad, but
Yeah.
just weird.
I can't say much because I didn't have time to watch this movie in advance today. I never heard of it before.
Yeah, me neither.
Huh.
I don't know if
I
she's
think
being
so
honest
far
about
it's
the
pretty
comparison
straight.
or not. Yeah. Straight story, yeah.
There's a lack of
Yeah,
gay
and
people.
It's
yeah.
fine, and it's well, yeah, and it can be a good example of you have a topic and you can display it in completely different ways, from completely different perspectives, outcomes, how things go. Like, not every veteran is the same. Not every veteran has PTSD.
No.
Certainly not, yes.
Plus, we're talking about a much younger Sylvester Stallone, probably his late 20s, early 30s, around there.
Yes. Yeah,
And-
that was around it.
And an old man, and it looks like in his 70s at least. So, trying to do a really difficult thing like drive a lawnmower 250, 40 miles, whatever it is.
Yeah.
A little different.
Oh, and if Lynch says himself this was his most experimental movie, I could believe that in the context of for what he is used to do.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. For him, this
Yeah.
is experimental.
Yeah,
Make a
because
normal movie.
yeah, usually David Lynch
He
is kind of like
he can't just put his imagination into manifestations.
it's very much he can't exactly go crazy on the camera with stuff like he did with Dune, where you have a giant scrotum on screen.
Or like
Alien.
Eraserhead. Jesus.
Oh God, oh God, not Eraserhead. It's I think that the title was the straight story then was chosen deliberately in self-awareness of Lynch that he wasn't doing a Lynch movie, but just doing a straight story instead of his symbolic, metaphorical, psychedelic, whatever it is he does. But it's just a plain, straight movie, and that is out of the box for Lynch. I find it kind of interesting that he chose this very title. It's like it's on the nose.
Yeah. It's very straightforward as opposed to the kind of strange visuals.
I was
Oh.
worried she was gonna think it was about the sexual orientation.
Oh, please don't.
I'm
Oh.
still like holding my defenses up for.
Yeah, it's either going to be some aspect of politics or some sexual interest or fetish that's like she has
This
to bring up.
reminds me of a porno from the 70s.
I know. I'm so scared. Like, I really don't want it to go there.
I definitely wanted to go there. That would be amazing.
Oh God. Please let this innocent girl alone.
That is genuinely the most horrified, sound I've ever heard from Smud. That's really funny.
Scene with an old man and a pregnant young lady. It's like, oh no, please stop. Anyway.
Family.
Alvin tells the young runaway, as he reassures her that, of course, they'll accept her. It feels like a heartwarming, Hallmarkian scene, but that story is a reference to a scene from Kurosawa's Ran. In that film, a warlord tells the same story, this time about a bundle of arrows to his 3 sons. He hopes to encourage them to work together after he divides up his kingdom between them so that he can retire. But his only honest son points out that their father got where he was by being a ruthless warlord, not being a kind man who got along with his political rivals. The honest son calls the exercise hypocritical, grabs the bundled arrows and applies enough pressure to break them. The son's refusal to follow his father's naive scheme for peace leads the warlord to exile him, pitting the brothers against one another and eventually leading to the destruction of the entire family. In the context of Ron, the story of the bundle is really a lesson about the foolishness of a father trying to control everyone around him, the futility of...
Excuse me, but this is like an entirely different context. Come on.
Yeah, what
you bring up like Japanese culture, for fuck's sake. Like, this is...
Yeah, what does this have to do with Rambo?
What the fuck? This is
what does this have? Yeah,
she's
what does
mentioning
this have
that
to
this
do
is a
with war
reference to
veterans?
this movie. Where?
I do not know.
She may as well be talking.
Maggie, if you do not bring up Papa Smurf, I will be disappointed.
she may as well be talking about.
Please, don't introduce Maggie to the Smurf. I want more porn out of that thing.
You don't want more porn? There's already porn that you're watching?
I want
34, man.
I want philosophical discussion of the green door.
That already happened.
Well,
Yeah,
in this example, she could have been referencing a teddy bear, and then she would reference another teddy bear in another film with a completely different plot, completely different context of what the teddy bear represents. It's like, Maggie, it's just a teddy bear. This is a completely different thing. Okay.
It's like the same thing.
Like a Ming vase. Here's a Ming vase in this. Here's another Ming vase in this other film. And this Ming vase shatters over someone's head and everyone has a good laugh. You're like, that's Hot Shots.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa. Those are the same.
Like, this is like what annoys me about Maggie so much, because like at the beginning, like I was like, there's barely any parallels between like Rambo and the Straight Story, but like then like she continues into like this fucking nonsense. It absolutely has nothing to do with it. Just slightly like, father has a dispute with the son. No.
Yeah, she lost me. Like, I don't know what she's going on about.
This reminds me of 9/11.
Yeah.
Thanks, Maggie.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
of dictating how other people should lead their lives. And we already know that the simple parable Alvin tells the woman isn't true for him either. The very journey Alvin is on is to repair a relationship with his brother that has been broken. On one level, it's a simple scene of an old guy and a young runaway eating hot dogs. On another level, it's a scene about the fallacy of patriarchal control of our own lives and
Come on!
Wow.
Oh.
On another level, it's a pile of shit. Yeah, we can say the same about you. What is your point?
Fuck off! It's not.
And we knew the crazy was coming, and it's here.
A symbol of the Japanese patriarchy
Christ,
arguing with itself and starting a war over itself. How is that bad in your mind, Maggie? A bunch of men fighting over themselves.
Because they're eating hot dogs.
Not hurting any girls, not hurting any women, just themselves. Oh, yeah. A father and their
also,
sons. The patriarchy.
So
Thank you.
How does So how does patriarchal control have anything to do with a guy talking with a young lady? I don't understand the correlation.
Everything done.
Is it because she's eating the hot dogs? That's supposed to be like metaphorical rape or something?
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
What does this have to do with Rambo?
I don't know.
Why is Rambo the first thing in the title?
Does that mean like Rambo's part of the patriarchy? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, we're only an hour in, and we're 7 minutes into the video, so making relatively good time. But I imagine that she's saving the crazy for later because that's usually how it goes.
I think the crazy has begun. Man.
Oh yeah, we're
I mean, the first 5 minutes were like pretty harmless. Like I was like almost engaged. That like, well, what this movie is about, because I'm more interested about like what David Lynch has done with the like cinema wise. But this is your usual mega shit though.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how bad.
Yeah,
it
let's
gets.
go.
All right, here's two more super chats. Joe Crazy, Fish. Now, let me tell you about an unrelated film that also has a bundle of sticks. Yeah, I know. and Francis Ford Coppola. Listening to Maggie's videos is like listening to Joe Biden's speeches, although since she has an editor, the disparaging comments toward black people were probably edited out. Oh. I don't listen to Mr. Biden. I don't know what he says, but it's hard to follow whenever he does.
I just hear the oblivion.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Is that what he's talking about?
Is that? Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, that bit. That part's hilarious.
That was before he's president, being a president.
Wow, that's impressive.
New ones.
Way before, I think. I don't know, but yeah, it was funny.
Great guy, Joe.
It was from the age of Trump.
Bundle of sticks. That's funny. I guess Castaway's the same movie too.
Yeah.
Part of the patriarchy.
Or Book of Virtues is also part of the patriarchy because it uses that same exact analogy at one point, but it's a girl doing it, so...
Oh, so she's part of the patriarchy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep going.
Of difference between reality and the things that we believe to be true. In the morning, the young woman is gone. Alvin sees that she's bundled the sticks together, suggesting that she's hopeful about returning to her family. And I love that David Lynch leaves these glimmers of hope throughout the movie. But we never see her again. We never find out if her family rejects her, took her back, or something in between.
And that's how it should be.
Rambo, on its surface, is also a fairly simple story. A guy gets pulled over, roughed up by the police, escapes and embarks on a survival mission. But it's the second layer that adds complexity. Rambo isn't just some guy. He's a Green Beret, a decorated war vet who is back in America and left adrift. It completely changes the power dynamic that the cops were relying on, and still rely on.
If you're looking for trouble, you came to the right place, buddy.
To cover up their own abuse and misuse of power. It points to the hypocrisy of a government that sends young people off to faraway countries to die in the name of freedom, but refuses to support those same veterans if they return home in a condition that society deems broken. In one of the first scenes, the sheriff sees an American flag patch on Rambo's jacket and says,
"You know, wearing that flag on that jacket, looking the way you do, you're asking for trouble around here, friend."
The sheriff also has an American flag patch, but he doesn't see it as a symbol that bonds them together. The sheriff offers to drive Rambo out of town and gives a very succinct description of policing in America.
It's a quiet little town. In fact, you might say it's boring. But that's the way we like it. And I get paid to keep it that way.
People like Rambo don't have a place in this town. They're an expendable commodity. The sheriff wants to enjoy the fruits of imperialistic wars, but doesn't want to face the human cost of those wars.
Wait a second. So Vietnam, or whatever Rambo was in, was an imperialistic war that allowed the peace of this small little town in the middle of rural America?
I don't agree with that. Based on, I have not done much studying into Vietnam, but from my limited understanding, Vietnam was mostly us trying to make sure that the Soviets did not get control over another country because we were scared of the communist faction of Vietnam getting too much power. And it ended up being a giant mistake because the Viet Cong destroyed the U.S. with guerrilla tactics.
That has nothing to do with...
So they didn't even win.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with a bunch of people living in peace on the other side of the world. So...
Yeah.
Maggie.
Yeah, Vietnam really didn't affect us directly. It was mainly just anti-Soviet. We weren't trying to conquer Vietnam. We just wanted to make sure that, like, we were just kind of acting as the police, the global police force in a conflict that eventually cost us more money than we were able to pay back, and also wasted a bunch of lives in a war that was ultimately pointless.
Yeah,
Okay.
because after the Americans pulled out, the commies just wrecked the place.
Mm-hmm.
Here
So
is...
either they shouldn't have gone in the first place, or had put a proper end to the whole conflict, and not just pull out halfway. That was just a half-assed way of wasting absolutely every effort ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, here is Francis Ford Coppola. Thank you. Maggie, this reminds me of another film with bundles of sticks. Their names were Ennis and Jack, and the film was called Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt she could make that clear connection to that movie.
Oh, I have never seen Brokeback Mountain, but I am now scared to.
Go watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Watch it
Okay.
before Maggie
Just-
makes a review out of it.
Just kidding. I didn't watch it.
Be surprised if she hadn't already.
Yeah.
Considering it's Maggie, yeah,
I
it's top of her
I'm
list.
Yeah, I
interested.
mean, she loves
I'll
the
do-
gays.
Yeah.
By the way, she has not mentioned it yet that like the entire plot of First Blood is because like Rambo is not let to have his fucking breakfast anywhere in that goddamn town. Everyone is
I just-
refusing to give him service.
I just honestly really want her to make a full-on anti-Mahler video. I think that would be hilarious. She's already she already took a pot shot at him in her Cats video for some reason.
Oh, did she?
Because like, yeah. But
Uh,
I just
there's
think
always
that
a
would be
bigger fish.
absolutely hilarious. Yeah.
All right.
Shall we keep going?
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we get too far into Rambo, though, I do feel the need to point out a few problematic things about the movie.
Oh.
First, although the film does show the class divide between Rambo and the sheriff, it really doesn't have any time for anyone who isn't white. Presumably the guy...
Whoa. What?
So this woman is not white? Or is white? I can't...
Why does this matter?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
What
Like
is
that's
she
not
on
the
about?
purpose of the movie. Like the purpose of the movie is that like Rambo is a Vietnam veteran who has shell shock, and like all his friends are fucking dead, and he tries to like connect with someone who still understands, could still like settle down and like he could like start like a normal life because like he's unable to do that, and he has been like going on like this for a year, I believe, or like some years.
Was it a year?
And he's just unable because like all of them are dead.
Right.
And then like this
I
crazy
think
cop
there's,
like fucks him over.
Well, there's also those anti-war protesters, right?
Yes, like he like I think at the end of the movie like Rambo like breaks down and, like tells like the
colonel.
Colonel, yeah, like everyone hates him, like everyone treats him like shit, and like he had fucking enough of this. But that was his breaking point. It's not about like race. Like he talks with this lady like normally, and like doesn't like black puss, like none of that shit.
No,
Jesus
she's like,
Christ.
it's a person.
It's a person.
I don't know why she's so obsessed with like, whoa, it's not just a person, black person.
I can only imagine how much she hates Rambo Last Blood since.
Oh boy.
I still haven't got a chance to see that movie.
I haven't either. I just know that her particular crowd hates that movie with the fiery passion.
Dude, she must hate Die Hard. Because that's a white guy and it's a cop.
I think it's specifically because Rambo Last Blood involves a Mexican cartel coming up from Mexico to chase after
Rambo fucking wipes out an entire cartel.
Yeah, and he just kills all of them in very violent and gruesome fashion.
Well, I mean, that is a thing.
Well,
I don't know why she would have a problem with
it. They had problems with a wall being thrown up. Do you think that what do you think they would do if you're portraying the Mexican cartel as they actually are after they've kidnapped a girl and turned her into, with the purpose of turning her into a prostitute and then killing her?
Yeah.
It's always weird because I have friends down in Mexico, and they talk about how the cartel controls certain sections.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even offended by this kind of crap because they know it's true. And it's just amazing, people like Maggie always get offended by this kind of crap.
Yeah, because they're insane.
Anyway, we're 9.5 minutes in. This is going by really quickly. And so far we've got a racist comment, a imperialist comment, and is that it so far?
How's the bingo card?
Patriarchy?
And the patriarchy, yes. Okay. Doing all right. It's a Maggie Mae Fish video. We're expecting a lot of these things, so. I still love the fact she's just referencing random videos for no point. It's just this video had this reference. You're like, thanks, Maggie. You're great.
I swear if she's gonna reference the Holocaust next time. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's keep going, shall we?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Rambo goes to meet in the intro is black, but we don't actually see his face. And his family is quickly left behind by the narrative. Second, the few shots of Vietnamese people are predictably racist. These caricatures don't show the horrors of war. Instead, they show the horrors of evil foreign communists. Rambo was apparently special forces, so...
Welcome to war.
Yeah, exactly that. They torture him. He's a fucking prisoner.
Maggie, you make it. You're assuming there are communists that are not evil.
What do you think?
Kill some of his friends?
Also, there are you imply that there are local communists, which is worrying.
Yeah, what do you think the most common wars have happened in the past 100 years have been with? Communists?
Also, do you not understand the fact that people tend to not... Well, people on the other side of the world, in that particular area of the world, have a tendency not to treat their prisoners of war very well.
No.
Yeah, Asian torture techniques are, they make the Inquisition pale.
Yeah.
They're creative.
And the Inquisition's methods were creative, let's say. If you ever read the Hexenhammer, described in that chunky book, it's brutal. But what Asians came up with, the Chinese and other cultures in that area, holy fucking shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Inquisition's tortures were designed mainly with extorting confessions of unholy deeds. But many of the Asiatic tortures are only intended to torture, only intended to humiliate and cause pain, with no intention of getting an admission or information out of anyone. They just exist to torture.
Yeah,
for the sole sake of torture. And it is. Yeah, they invented torture methods solely for the purpose of keeping you alive as long as possible while killing you as slowly and painful as possible.
Mm-hmm.
That is not. My God, Maggie, you have no bloody idea what's going on in the world.
All right.
And you have no bloody idea of what communism actually is, you bloody dunce. You bloody bourgeois, rich, privileged dunce.
Like, I don't know, like, how can you be this dumb? Like you're so oblivious to like something like this.
Just living in a rich, nice gated community full of people like her.
She has never seen anything else than America. Like
she's never lived on the street.
Little bubble that she lives in. Nothing else.
I want to ask real quick. Somebody said Rambo's half Native American. Is that true or?
I can't remember. But like,
I think he probably is. Isn't Sylvester Stallone some measure of part Native American? He tends to kind of put a lot of himself into the characters he writes. Maybe.
But he was Italian.
I don't know his ethnicity, but I don't know the story of Rambo very well, so I can't say what his background was.
I just can't remember.
Apparently, it's different in the books and the movies. So.
If it was in the movie, Maggie Mae would have brought it up really quickly. So maybe she'll bring it up later.
The film's novelization reveals he has an Italian father and a Navajo mother. Okay, all right. I guess that answers.
Cool. Okay. Here is one more donation from Francis Board Copel again. I'd argue the cartel portrayed in Last Blood almost sanitizes the cartel because in reality they are 10 times worse than any film I've ever seen portrayed them as, especially Los Zetas. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, reality is usually harsher than what we can put on film. So.
Oh yes, there's certain like levels of disgusting violence and gore and just human depravity that maybe HBO could get with, but not general movie-going audiences. There are certain limitations of what people can handle. HBO.
I mean, if you ever watch that show Narcos, they kind of take it a step further, but
I guess like Netflix and HBO with their TVMA stuff have similar like similar like content, no holds bars / holds bars. It really kind of depends.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's worth asking.
Worth questioning whether he's guilty of war crimes himself, but the movie isn't interested in that side of the war, and we conveniently don't see any footage of Rambo killing anyone in Vietnam. Apparently, Stallone.
You don't need to see any of that
war
to
crimes,
imagine. It's a war. Like, you have to fight another country by any means.
How's getting tortured a war crime?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, right, for the other side, right? Not him.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like okay if they do it because they are communists, but like if Rambo does anything, then it's like, oh no,
communism
it's a white
good.
person.
Because
he deserved it.
It's probably because like he probably killed a bunch of Vietnamese people, and like she's probably assuming that he killed civilians or something because that's just what she would do.
Well, I love the.
I just don't know like how a scenario of a war would like go down in like Maggie's mind. Like, well, if they are like communist or socialist, they are okay. They should survive. But like if they die, that's bad.
And just because they treat their prisoners badly, that's racist. It's just like, no, that's just accurate to how it was.
I think the definition of war crimes by the Geneva Convention was very clear. A non-combatant or a combatant doing orders from a superior, like they're just following orders. That's their job. If there is some specific thing,
did Vietnam followed the Geneva Convention?
Right. If there's something specific that the leaders in charge, they would get charged. It wasn't the guy pulling the trigger. It was the orders themselves.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love the use of the ampersand and the and word. It's like, why did they make that distinction? I'm not sure, but we have.
Because it's Sylvester Stallone, and you have to know it.
It's capital and. Okay, we get it.
And Sylvester Stallone.
So it looks like Michael and William were the main writers, and they put in Sylvester for some reference. Okay.
Had a lot of input in adapting the novel to the screen, and from what I can tell, he made changes that would ensure the character is much more sympathetic and much less of a bloodthirsty killing machine. And Stallone seems to have been right. American audiences in 1982 were eager to see a movie about the downsides of Vietnam, as long as those downsides were limited to the way it affected a white male super soldier, and as long as the imperialistic motives for...
Oh boy, god damn it.
Oh, she had to...
What?
She had to cut out some video.
I failed to follow. I just was stuck on the title screen with the and that's just that's
sure you're lying.
No, it's just my tism brain, and I'm really exhausted today from stuff. That is the symbol we in German call the kaufmännisches und, which means the merchants or the economic and the other is the normal one. The economic and is a stronger connection. It's so that's the main group of screenplay writers, and the written out and means additionally Sylvester Stallone gives input on it.
I think I got that message. Why they had to do it that way is unnecessary, but
yeah, it's just if anyone was confused about that. That was not bad editing. That does mean something.
All right, so I don't know if this is me and the video is unavailable, or she had to clip out some stuff because of copyright issues.
Pretty sure she had to clip out.
Maybe she actually used this image of video on
maybe. I doubt it.
Maybe was she trying to make the point that like, ooh, they didn't show Rambo's war crimes.
I think maybe it might have been actually deliberate to kind of say that YouTube would have like taken down certain topic discussions, because that seems like that would be something she would do.
Yeah, but this is a Maggie Mae Fish video. Like, she's allowed to talk about it. Like, it's
oh yeah.
The way like YouTube works is like very crazy, because like sometimes like you can like do like things on certain channels, but then like others who are like trying to like sell like a different narrative, they are not allowed to do it at all. Like they have to like obey like all the rules of YouTube. Just can't have a free hand.
All right, well, let's see this non-video video play.
White super. That's
the war were out. The National Guardsmen, who are characterized as incompetent weekend warriors, even brag about how they're going to get their picture in Soldier of Fortune magazine when they believe that they've killed Rambo.
All right, Nick, one more for Soldier of Fortune. Soldier of Fortune?
This could have been a meaningful criticism of macho, gun-loving American culture. But when you look at it in context, the way Rambo's past is romanticized and glorified, the scene isn't a criticism of that particular type of masculinity. It's a criticism of the National Guardsmen for not being macho enough, which I guess isn't surprising when you consider the film.
It's them for being idiots. That's all it is.
It's hubris.
Yeah.
It's hubris. They don't actually know war. That's the point of that.
Yeah.
And
that's the point.
And they think because there's so many that the numbers are in their favor, like a bunch of people against one, that this will be easy peasy pie.
Even though they're
that's the whole
going
joke
up against a guy who went through the Viet Cong.
Yeah.
These guys are nothing by comparison.
Yeah, they're stormtroopers.
Let it go.
Can't hold it back anymore.
Here's Mike Testa. Oh no, Maggie became self-aware. What do we do? Oh, never mind.
That would have been great if she was self-aware.
Well, yeah,
I don't think she's capable.
final was rewritten by a macho bodybuilder celebrity. The mythic nature of Rambo has also had a big
So
impact on how we
dismissive.
remember anti-war protesters. At the end of the movie, when Rambo finally breaks down crying, letting out all of his emotions to Colonel Troutman, he rattles off all the terrible things that happened as a result of the war. He says that for him, the war isn't over. He mentions being spat on and called a baby killer by protesters. In 1998, Jerry Lemke published The Spitting Image, a study of the widely believed myth that vets were spat on after the war. He found essentially no first-hand accounts to support these claims. Instead, he argues that the myth was pushed by the Nixon administration to drive a wedge between vets and anti-war protesters. In reality, vets protested alongside anti-war protesters. The myth was then picked up again by the Bush administration, the other Bush administration, Daddy Bush, and used to silence protesters against America's involvement in the Gulf War. Time is a flat circle, nothing matters, and we're in an infinite loop of terrible. Lemke points to First Blood as one of the films that popularized this myth in the American consciousness. Thematically, John Rambo's final anti-protester monologue contradicts pretty much the entire rest of the movie. The movie sets up patriarchal authority as the enemy for most of the narrative, then suddenly shifts the blame to anti-war protesters in the last scene. You could read First Blood as a kind of ironic moral allegory, where Rambo's being punished for the sins that he committed in Vietnam. You could argue that in Vietnam, Rambo was the white supremacist sheriff who judged people at first glance, who quickly resorted to violence, and who justified it all by saying, "We're being paid to keep America safe."
I thought he was half
Okay,
American.
hold on. Sorry, this is overloading my brain.
This is
this was way too much.
Terrible. This is terrible. This is a terrible argument because we don't know what he did. All we see, based on what you've shown, is that he was imprisoned in a dirt shaft, a hole in the ground, and had crap poured on him.
Yep.
Weren't we just, wasn't Rambo just mixed race, Native American?
He is mixed race, we just confirmed.
Yes.
Did Maggie mention that at some point?
No, for Maggie, Rambo is just a white dude.
Okay,
he looks
because
white,
it would
so
be
he
more
is white.
hilarious if she had mentioned that before.
Oh, but it wouldn't support her narrative. Well, I think she knows, but she doesn't want to include it.
Yeah. Also,
I mean, did they? I think I've
I
only
really
seen
don't know where to
two.
start.
Yeah.
Also, Maggie, you want to consult the dictionary. That's not what imperialism means.
Yeah, I don't want to rewind and listen to that again. That was a big mishmash of words.
Did Maggie remember like that scene, like when Rambo has the PTSD and like there's the Vietnamese soldier like pushing a knife through his chest, and Rambo just starts screaming.
Yeah, he's
and Maggie's
with
like,
a mental
"Oh, the
issue.
sins that you have done."
No, it's the mental issues. What are you talking about? It kicks his what would you call it? That part in your brain to react.
Yeah.
Fight or flight, is that what
Yeah,
you're
fight or
thinking?
flight. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The muffin button.
I mean, I don't know how perfectly it's perfectly showcased. I don't know how she couldn't understand that.
It's such a nice,
because he's biased?
nicely done scene as well. Yeah, like it's so clear what's happening in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, not for Maggie.
So that's Stallone.
I just
kind of an underrated actor.
I don't know how simple they could have made it.
All right.
Because Maggie is. Oh, go for it. Sorry.
Here is Francis Ford Coppola. Is Rambo's past really glorified when all the time he speaks about it, he regrets it? He talks about how awful it all was, how pointless it was. Is it really fair to say it's glorified? In the first movie, no. In the first movie, it's pretty painful for him. And we see that in him trying to adapt to a normal life. In the other films, I don't know because they don't go into it. So it's kind of like this is his existence now.
Yeah, like I only saw the second one, but I can't really remember much of it. Like, did they actually go further with his past, or? Because I just don't remember.
I imagine that considering Rambo is held up with Sylvester Stallone, and owns a usual repertoire of gun-toting meat mountain, indestructible meat mountain genre, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I imagine that they rather glorify the violence quite a bit, just because they know their current audience.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. With all the Rambo sequels, it's all about him being a one-man army, or getting to know some guys that, like, was it Rambo 5? I think that was Vietnam too, right? Where they were trying to save some woman or some environmentalists or something.
Rambo 2, yes.
Oh, that was Rambo.
All right. Anyway, I'm not rewinding this. That was just a big pile of stuff she said.
No,
carry on.
I don't want to hear all the isms.
We're not going to learn anything. We're not going to be happy. It's not going to make it.
That Vietnam was not about keeping America boring. That's a gross misreading of that conflict.
All right.
Rambo's return to America, these roles are reversed, and he's forced to suffer the same kind of violence and persecution that he brought to Vietnam. And the
No. I don't think so. In war, you shoot people dead. Not
And
the
also,
same violence.
It's not a matter of it's not a matter of he's racist. It's a matter of one side was a particular country, he was another country. It's just very obvious who's of that country and who's not, just based on where they live.
Yeah, if anything,
they do the same shit too.
If anything, yeah, Rambo is again the victim. He's being tortured. He's being victimized. He's being attacked. It's not the roles are not reversed. He's still going through pain when he thought it would be over when he comes home after the war. I mean that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and Rambo's not a super soldier. He's not Captain America. He's not. He just kind of is semi-indestructible due to the nature
Maggie
of
must have
his
loved
insane
Falcon.
plot armor. Oh, undoubtedly. She seems like the kind of, like, crazy person who would like that. There's some, like, just normies that like that show. But she would be one of those crazies that would read way too much insanity into it.
Oh yeah.
If you have like half a brain cell, like you would like notice like things that are happening in that show. But yes, I can totally imagine that Maggie will make a video about it.
Oh boy.
It feels like it is doing that for the most part. But by that final speech, it's clear the movie isn't interested in that ironic depth or deeper meaning. And
Wait a second. He's expressing his emotions and the pain he went through of his life up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
What deeper meaning are you looking for that isn't supposed to be there? Because I'm quite sure that's his character right there, expressing
shaving commercial.
Yeah, he's talking about all his friends that have been murdered.
What?
That's a pretty hefty amount of depth, I'd say.
Does she not have any sympathy or something?
Yes, that's his display.
That's a pretty hefty amount of depth for an action movie of that time period, honestly. Where you're actually going into a veteran who has PTSD. Like, as far as I am aware, Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, most of his movies are just, like, glorifying, like, violence. And maybe, like, T2, like, has some philosophical stuff. But I don't know if, like, he had a breakdown like Sylvester Stallone does. Maybe I'm wrong because I haven't watched all of Arnold's movies, but as far as I'm aware,
no, I can't think of one.
Well, he has a breakdown as Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin, but
wait, on-set or off-set?
Both.
That blood will freeze in my hands.
Freezing hell, Batman.
Who took out the dinosaurs? The Iceman comet!
That movie is amazing. I love that movie.
You're so crazy. Oh, okay, no. The crappy protesters was one of the many reasons that led him to eventually snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. It wasn't the main reason. One.
Also, the only proof that she had behind that, like those protests never happened, was just like a book, and nothing else.
Yeah.
Like she spent like 5 seconds, like oh, it didn't happen because there's a book about it. But
there are some crazy, awful people who would do that. I don't.
Yeah, and
the fact that she's saying that didn't happen is just like, no. That
Yeah.
I need more sources than just one book that's probably written by a really biased and insane person.
Yeah,
it was just weird
it's too likely that it did, and because it's these none of these movements are monoliths. You have people that are fine, that are happy that there are veterans that are on their side. And there are people who just despise everyone who was ever in the war. And I might even think that the veterans now marching with them are hypocrites. So yeah, can easily be the case. Especially the commies in America. They will not have any regard for veterans, even if they're on their side of being anti-war.
No.
Because the commies will have thought. I have no source on that, but I would be surprised if there were no commies in America that were not on the side of the Viet Cong.
Yeah.
All right, so we're more than I think half done here. Pretty impressive for the time. This is just a bad take that's just dumb. I think we're just used to her crap at this point. And
she was just amazing. She's like, Rambo is a bad white dude, but then there was a cop who tries to kill Rambo, and he's a bad white dude.
But really, Rambo is just suffering for his sins in Vietnam.
The Punishment Park one was worse than this. Fight Club one was infinitely worse than this. I think we might have blown our load with covering the worst one, because I'm just interested now to like, I'm actually gonna like watch her Rob Schneider video, because I imagine like it's going to be really funny.
Oh yeah, because Rob Schneider played like every race out there. Oh, she's gonna have a fun time with that movie, or I mean with that analytical video, I guess.
You'll be married to a fat old woman with a bunch of kids, just like Ula.
Okay, here's Mike Testa. We sure she isn't from One Flew Over the Cuckoos?
Let's say
possibly.
The jury's still out on that one.
We're not
the
too
jury
clear.
is still out on that one.
We can't quite.
Jury is still out on that.
Yeah, I don't think we could probably categorize Maggie Mae. She's just in her own world of
special.
People who are on the right are evil, and I want to talk about them, but I don't know how, so I'll just call them patriarchal, imperial fascists or some nonsense. You're just like, whatever. Okay.
Maggie, you're fighting you're fighting windmills.
It feels that way sometimes.
Yeah. Well, let's not compare it to Don Quixote. Don Quixote is infinitely smarter than her.
Of course.
He actually likes something. He actually loves someone. So that's nice. Good to know.
Yeah, the metaphor is solely about she thinks she's fighting giants, but it's really just windmills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the delusion.
Keep going, shall we?
Alrighty.
We got this, boys.
Oh, wait, there's one more from Tyler Preston. Maggie trying to deny that the Vietnam protesters weren't pieces of shit to the veterans is the exact same thing Renegade Cut does in his Forrest Gump video, where he claims that it was conservative propaganda.
Tabernacle has a Forrest Gump video?
No, Renegade Cut.
Oh, Renegade Cut.
Renegade Cut.
Renegade.
It just sounds
although Tabernacle. Yeah, you probably have a video too.
So Forrest Gump is conservative propaganda.
Well, it's because it's about family.
Oh yeah.
And the last.
That's what's so powerful about it.
Oh no.
And then the Last Jedi is by that logic is conservative propaganda, because it is also about family.
That was one of the worst things she's ever said in her acting career off the camera.
Oh,
yeah, she regretted it so much that like she never showed up again.
It's about family where we all die. That's great.
I think also like the one time where she's like, "Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. Could you repeat the question?"
She's an old, checked out lady who doesn't get her cocaine fix anymore, so she's tired with life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get why she thinks that this cosplaying as an old woman is somehow
intelligent, clever, smart, funny, any of the above. Yeah, just pick.
Well, she's trying to compensate for something that she doesn't have. So
talent,
mental age,
like good attributes of any kind.
If she had something intelligent to say, she could make all the dumb jokes she wants. I wouldn't care. But because it's so retarded,
yeah,
the ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
Yeah.
All right, here's Non-Vitae Rex. Hey, sir. Found it. Star Wars Empire number 17 and 18. Planet is Meriden. The natives are Amani headhunters, and the Empire fights them in the jungle. Could be a fun standalone Star Wars movie.
Damn.
Interesting.
No, come on.
It's a very specific comic, but you have to actually know about it. Yeah. Could be good. I don't know. Possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, let's get going.
Of course, from Rambo 2 onward, it turns into a straight action movie, shaking off all the potential complexity in favor of, what you think of when I say Rambo. The second movie in the series was panned at the time for being a schlocky, mindless, jingoistic bunch of nonsense, and honestly, it's pretty embarrassing. But First Blood itself has a lot to say about the ways in which American policing perpetuates their own problems by their use of excessive force,
I don't think
prejudice,
jingoism is the
lack
right
of
word to use
accountability,
here.
and the ways in which we abandon those who serve in the military, like the failures of the VA right here in the U.S. In the middle of the film, Rambo's speaking over radio to Colonel Troutman, telling him that when he got back to America, he tried to seek the colonel out for help, but he wasn't there.
I tried to get in touch with you, but the guys at Bragg never knew where to find you.
All Rambo was asking for was someone to talk to, and the military couldn't even give him that. This theme of connection is echoed in one of the most emotional scenes in the straight story. When Alvin stops to get his lawnmower repaired, he meets another veteran named Verlin, who invites him for a drink. The two men bond over their traumatic experiences in World War II. Alvin connects his alcoholism directly to the war.
The reason I was drinking, I was seeing all them things here that I'd seen over there.
Verlin tells Alvin about the time he watched helplessly from a distance as a German plane dropped a bomb, killing all of his friends while they were just waiting to be served a meal. This prompts Alvin to say that he still sees young faces, frozen in time, of both the friends he lost and the Germans that he killed. Then Alvin talks about his time as a sniper, waiting patiently, looking for targets, sometimes just firing at movements in a bush. He mentions a particular instance when he saw something moving really slowly.
I waited 10 minutes. It moved again, and I shot.
The next day, when they found the body, Alvin realized he'd killed one of his own friends, a young American scout. Everyone else in his unit assumed a German sniper had shot the scout.
Everyone, all these years, everyone but me.
Alvin has carried that terrible secret with him his entire life, and has never been able to speak it out loud, until now. Later, Alvin, alone, looks up at the stars, thinking of all those lives that were cut short, and how simple human mistakes in war cost lives, and the ripples are felt throughout history. The scene in the bar is also a fascinating example of how the three-act structure can be used in unconventional ways to produce an emotionally powerful story. In conventional Hollywood three-act structure, about three-quarters...
Okay, this is retarded. No, I'm sorry. You cannot explain drama because of three-act structure. It's a structure which allows for drama in any act, not a specific scene. The specific scene is the nature of the character and their struggles and desires and what they're trying to achieve. You can do that in Act 1. You can do that in Act 3. You can do that in Act 5. It doesn't make a difference.
What the hell is this doing in here? Like, This is not about the topic itself at the hand. Like,
she's trying to display her intelligence.
You could also do it in an Odyssey style structure that doesn't follow either 3 or 5 act, where it's just a series of events like The Hobbit or the Odyssey itself.
You can do it in oral tradition. You can do it in a poem. You could do it in anything. It's drama. Do you care about the character's plight? Do you care about what they're going through and what they're trying to achieve? That's drama. That's it. Now, if you want to talk about dramatic structure, like Freytag's pyramid, you might have a bit more of a clearer argument, because that's the classical understanding of how it works, because how you feel has a certain shape, and it goes up and down and down and back up again. That you can make an argument for. This is just how you would write a play, or I don't know, a screenplay or a stage play or whatever. It's not like some formula for drama. It could be a tragedy. It could be a comedy, for all you know. It doesn't mean it's going to be, you're going to care about the characters because you're writing a drama. It's like, no, it's just, anyway. Silly.
The way through our movie, you'll find the low point, or all is...
That says plot point, not low point.
But it's lower than the line, you know? So it has to be like
a
low point.
A plot point, all it is a change in direction of a story. You go from A to B to C. Those are plot points. And it's like going through a door. It's like, oh, I've just entered another room. I've entered another scene. I've entered another location, whatever the case may be, so I can get closer to my goal. And it's usually as a result of a hurdle, like a mini boss, if you want to be that silly with action movies, or getting past a certain time point, whatever the case may be. And then the plot shifts to go to somewhere else. That's it. That's all plot point does. So, I don't know.
It's a low point, though.
If she wants to talk about Freytag's pyramid or dramatic structure, why isn't she doing that? That's what we're getting at, what she's referring to. This has nothing to do with that. Like, this is basic stuff that you would learn in, I would say, grade school, when you first learn Shakespeare and they talk about 3-act structure or 5-act structure or whatever type of stage play you're watching, because we don't really do this anymore. You can, it's fine, but not for drama.
We never had this in school.
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. If you're studying film, if you're studying, I guess creative writing, I did this a bit, but it wasn't related to this, because we talked about how you would have a character arc, and that was more important than how big your story is or how the rest of your story is structured. Because when we were taught to write, it was not just there's one way to write. It's like, no, you could write short stories, you could write novellas, you could stretch them out to novels, you could do encyclopedias. Doesn't matter. It matters if the characters are relevant to keep the story going and your audience cares about reading that story. So, plot point 2, there could be like 20 plot points in a 3-act structure. It makes no difference.
Lost mode. This is when the protagonist suffers a terrible defeat. It usually involves literal or symbolic death. This low point leads to Act 3, where the protagonist is reborn and finally finds the confidence and means of winning in the end. For Alvin Straight, the all is lost moment is fascinating because it's literally just him speaking honestly about one of his deepest, darkest secrets for the first time ever. One of the guiding principles of filmmaking is show, don't tell, so you might expect the scene not to work. But the Straight story shows us that speaking can be a powerful act. Dialogue doesn't have to just be exposition. A character sitting quietly at a bar revealing...
Dialogue does not have to be exposition. Is it supposed to be exposition? Like, just let's say random shit.
For that?
Yeah, like, I like ice cream. Ice cream is delicious. It reminds me of my time when I was in the Arctic. Like, what? No, what are we talking about again? You can have any kind of dialogue.
That's a smooth transition.
It has to be relevant to the scene and what the guy wants in his plot. If it's not relevant to any of those things, it's just a guy talking, which is called exposition. Why would you do that? Why would you waste our time? We have scenes, we have dialogue, we have shots, we have colors and lights and all this stuff for a reason. And if the dialogue does not have a reason to be there, don't use dialogue.
Yeah, just cut it out. It doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
something they've buried deep inside can be as emotionally powerful as an action-packed VFX sequence. Alvin's decades-long struggle was emotional
Usually
and
more
internal,
impactful than that.
but over the years it resulted in tangible, external consequences. His ruined relationship with his brother, his alcoholism, and his shame and regret. And the scene in the bar is a culmination of that battle against himself. A battle he finally overcame by being vulnerable and connecting with someone who could hear his pain. The film may be slow-paced and quiet at first glance, and Farnsworth's performance may be subtle and simple on the surface. But looking deeper, we find the tragic, devastating portrait of a man whose entire life was ruined by war, who was unable to even speak to the darkest truths until late into his old age. Now, I'm no soldier, I have bone spurs, so I asked my friend Christian Ramirez to give us some insights from his first-hand experiences as a veteran of the Army. I'm going to show you a few highlights from our conversation now, and if you want to hear more from him, you'll be able to watch the full interview in a video that I'll link below. Christian told me about why he joined the Army and how his experience serving in Iraq strengthened his beliefs in social programs. He gave me his thoughts on The Straight Story and Rambo, and finally some of his experiences interacting with Vietnam veterans at the
Sorry, this is just it's because it's too distracting. Maggie, you use more blush than a whore.
Oh.
Well, who's to say that she isn't one on the side? How else do you think that she gets her jobs?
Come on, Patreon.
I don't know,
money.
but she looks worse than a cheap whore. This is too much blush. Maggie, cut down on the blush. Learn how to do your makeup properly. Yes. You're not. You're. There are many things you're not, but you are in a way pretty. You do not need to brush yourself up like a clown.
Well, we did watch her
seen
cat's
her,
video, so that was.
Oh, good,
And also her makeup. Also,
well,
her
that's at least the
makeup tutorial
costume,
while
but this
talking
is
about
not
Zack
supposed to be a
Snyder.
costume.
But that's.
She's supposed to be leisurely here. When you're leisurely, you don't put up like what it's. Come on.
Stop oppressing her.
No. Yeah. Fuck you. She's oppressing me with her bullshit about trans shit.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah.
This is true. She has some crazy ideas, and they drive us nuts.
Yeah.
Here is
always right.
Mike Testa. It's time for your schizo pills and prune juice. Oh. What is a schizo pill? I want to know, and why prune juice? Ugh.
He is not. I do not think she
pill.
can. She does not have the warrior spirit to stomach prune juice. I don't think so.
Oh. I don't think I do either.
And I do not know what meds schizoids take in
Yeah.
order to get rid of their delusions.
Probably
There are some, but I don't know.
depressants. Yeah, I wouldn't know. I would have to check that out.
No. Not depressants.
Well, antipsychotics, right? So.
Yes, antipsychotics.
So downers.
You could try CBD.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like barbiturates or something. That's fine. Yeah, it's much better idea.
Probably. CBD is a natural antipsychotic, and but it doesn't give you a trip. And when people advocate for medical marijuana, medicinal, they don't end up with taking CBD only marijuana, which kind of defeats the purpose.
Oh.
And THC and CBD, they don't really help with PTSD either. Those are not drugs to treat that with. There is proper treatment for PTSD. While we're on the topic of talking about PTSD with these movies that he brings up, there is proper treatment for that, and marijuana is not part of that. CBD can help you sleep a little better, but even then, for example, CBD oil, you shouldn't take that for longer than, let's say, 2 months. Because it will do neurological changes to your brain over a long period, over a long time. So don't rely on it too much. And if you have psychotic symptoms, if you're schizoid, you need proper doctors in anyway. So
I'm looking at this next super chat and I'm just like, oh man, that would be awesome.
No.
Here is Joe Crazy. Speaking of writing, a reading of the leaked live-action Powderpuff Girls pilot script when?
No.
Yeah.
No. LiteratureDevil did a stream on it. No.
Was it that bad? I didn't bother to watch.
Basically, they're talking about masturbation.
What?
Yeah.
The Powderpuff Girls? Come on.
Powerpuff Girls are in that script, in that live action script, are essentially teenage whores.
Yeah. The dad's a pimp, right?
What? It's a show for kids. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and they're casting the guy who played Turk in Scrubs for the dad.
And one of the girls is, I guess, gay.
Okay.
Heard that all of them are lesbians now.
Bubbles, not gay who goes by that I don't regret my greatest failure. Japan is a tough nut to crack. I'm not talking about the brand of me, my mistakes as a father. Look, we love being the Powerpuff Girls, but we all wanted to do other things too, like in Dirty Dancing. Baby wanted to join the Peace Corps, but she also wanted to be a fancy slut, and her dad didn't get it.
Shit, man.
Fucking
praising narcissistic assholes, basically.
This is worse.
Okay.
This is so much worse.
Let's not think about those things anymore, please, because that's disturbing. Here's Mike Testa. We'll keep on going.
I'm sorry.
Advil after all, I'm an expert on a thematic level. Oh, Mike. He's an expert.
Well, thank you, Mike.
He's a thematic level expert. Like, okay, that's great.
All right, better go to the CVS then.
Ooh. Anyway, let's hear what an actual veteran has to say about some movies. That's fine.
Yay. Hello, Christian. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello.
Yeah. I joined the Army when I was like 19, so 2006 to 2011. I was in the infantry specifically. I was deployed twice to Iraq. I was a kid that when I was in my like sophomore and junior year, we did walkouts protesting the Iraq War.
Wow.
So, yeah.
My school did not do anything like that. That's awesome. Wow.
Our core groups did,
you and your punk band.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the other members did. And so I joined mostly because the fear of taking out student loans at the time was something that if you're not educated at all with finance, it's hard to view a student loan as like an opportunity. More so than this thing that's going to be hanging around my neck. Like recruitment depends on you having a hard time. It's the fact that you've your whole life been worried about money and like housing and when am I gonna like my next meal and stuff like that. And they provide it for you. And on top of that, I'm gonna be able to go to college afterwards. There's a lot of people that share my experience and become far leftists, people that believe in socialism and social welfare programs. All the base needs are
those are different things that don't work together
because they understand that they need somebody who is housed, fed, and cared for to actually be able to be ready to do your job in a company.
Okay, so this guy joined the military because they were giving him benefits, and he believes in socialism as a result.
I think this is the problem with which I brought up at some point with people who need an Oedipal parent in order to survive, and they look for that either in the state, in the form of socialist programs that do everything for them, or in the form of religion, in God, because that gives order and salvation and everything. By just doing certain things, and then the church cares for you, for your every need in some sort of way. And the military, if you are already not self-sufficient, if you cannot stand on your own two legs, if you never learned that, the military is providing for you because as compensation and necessity for you to be able to do your job as a combat role. When he then gets out of the military, he has never learned to stand on his own 2 feet. So despite the military being a very hard thing to go through, he hasn't grown up. And he still wants to rely on that Oedipal parent that is the state. That is big government, not small government. And And that is why he prefers socialism, not because it's the better system, but because he wants someone else to care for him.
It very much benefits him, and also like it just kind of like based on the like pictures, it just kind of seems like kind of just hasn't really taken much care of himself, just by virtue of what I can see in front of me.
It looks like he's living in a motel.
Well, I was just thinking he really hasn't kept up the workout, and like admittedly, like I only go to the gym like 2 times a week, but I try to go when I can.
Hey, 2 times is a good baseline. I mean,
I wouldn't really like judge like how he lives, but like yes, like it's kind of strange, like how he went to say like far left, but it's his thing.
Yeah,
like it's not a new thing to hear like a soldier, like a veteran, saying that like he's like believing in leftist ideas. Like that's normal. Like anyone can be like
combat?
that. Yes, that's like another thing. But like, yeah, he went there to be a soldier to pay his loans. So
here's a
like fair play, totally.
Here's Tyler Preston. Apparently, Jay Longbone already did the whole script. Oh God. Well, kudos to her, I guess.
I can only imagine how bad it was.
Yeah, let's not dwell on that anymore. I don't want to think about it. Ugh.
Yeah.
And Mike Testa, yes, let's do it. After all, just us for Mojo Jojo. What the?
The monkey.
They turned in the script. It's not Mojo Jojo, but his son, who is just a human who owns a monkey.
Oh, and he's a black guy too, right?
I don't know. I thought it was Dr. Newtonium.
Okay. Anyway,
I wonder what they're saying there, huh? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But this scene here is so he went to the military, not for out of patriotic reasons, but to pay his bills.
Yeah.
So he's a mercenary.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's when I hear a lot from people who go to the U.S. military that they go there for the health insurance, for the health benefits, not for any good reasons to join the military, but for that. And yes, that shows to me that the U.S. does have a problem with a proper healthcare system, although the ones that the Democrats propose I do not agree with. Because that's not the right solution for that. But yeah, when the military is your fallback in order to get your health benefits and to pay your bills, number one, your country has problems. Number two, you will get people in your military that are not there in order to serve your country. You will have people there who are just there to be paid, to get paid. And I'm sorry, I'm going a bit in circles because I'm lacking the right words.
Well, just think about it. She cherry-picked this guy who happened to have the same left-leaning political spectrum that she's on. She could have chosen thousands of dudes or people.
She could have picked a group, maybe. Get a bunch of different perspectives in.
I have nothing against people who want to go into a program because, like, oh, this problem is solved for me, that problem is solved for me. I'm going to throw my life with them. Sure, join any group you like, have a band of brothers, whatever your relationship will be. Great. It's not the reason why you join the military, but if you've got nothing else going on in your life and that you want some structure, you want some discipline, that's a good way of going. That will straighten you out.
Yeah, but what he got out of it is he has a system that cares for him. And now he's out of that system, and now he wants the state to care for him in the same way. He did not learn to be independent. He was in the military, and he did not learn to be independent. What happened there?
I do not know. I do not know if like U.S. soldiers, once they reach like veteran status, like does the state actually like care for them until they like die? Like, is that the thing? Because like I've heard some things like that.
I
don't know if someone can confirm that.
I hear conflicting things about how the US treats its veterans, and lots of them don't sound very appealing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I hear like a lot, but like supposedly they should care about it. Like that's the idea I get. Is that true or not?
I don't think they do, but I don't know. Because I only had one friend who served, and then my uncle, but I don't really talk to my uncle. And my friend, he was mostly in like logistics, I think. I can't remember what he said.
Because here in Europe, they just like decorate them, and then they say like "good job," and maybe they have like a meeting, and that's it. They never have like any benefits out of it.
Yeah.
We only have 6 minutes left, which is
I know.
good.
I'm kind of interested to hear what he's gonna say about the movie. I don't know if he's gonna talk about the movie.
Supposedly,
it doesn't look like he saw a lot of combat, to be honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's fine. Let's go.
Combat situation, or in any situation. My experience in the military made me believe in more social programs, like the need for it for everybody. Because why wouldn't we want a populace that was taken care of and educated and all of that stuff? And I think that's not an uncommon experience.
We don't want a populace that is taken care of in every way, because that infantilizes them and makes them weak and dependent and into a slave class.
Yeah, they're gonna be taught like what to think instead of how to think. So
yeah, if
that's
you
like
are
a
scared,
very great program.
If you really have a problem with an authoritarian, totalitarian, fascist government, then you do not want your people to be taken care of in every way. You want them to be able to be independent. You want them to not have to rely on the government, and not want, that is the more important, not want to rely on the government. You can have problems, not problems, you can have government projects that care for those most in need, that really can't stand on their own two legs anymore. But if you open up these programs for people who can stand on their own two legs, then you create a slave class. Then you enslave your population with cookies and milk and nice pats on the head. And that is a form of slavery. That is brainwashing you into a dependent little child. You do not want that if you are in any way sane or mature. You would detest it. You would be disgusted by the thought of it, because you do not want to be a child. If you want this, you want to be a child.
All right.
A lot of veterans. You understand when you're in the military that people that are officers, a lot of times, who end up being safer because they're not necessarily directly in the line of fire or on the front lines, those are people that just had the luxury of being able to go to college first. It's not that they are inherently more competent than anybody else. My experience in the Army not only made me very aware that socialism is something that works and is beneficial to...
You ain't say the military isn't socialism, you fucking idiot.
What
They have a military.
What is he talking about?
Wow. What the...
How did he learn this?
Because he has a complete misunderstanding of what socialism is. The military is not socialism, fucking hell. The military, at best, what you can describe the military to be is a utilitarian machine that seeks to increase its efficiency and effectiveness as much as possible. And that seeks to, when it's well run, that's the only place where you can remotely make a utilitarian argument, is for a general who makes a battle plan, because he has to figure out how to win the battle with the least casualties possible. That's a good general. And that general will have to make decisions of sacrifice. Which units is he going to endanger, maybe even sacrifice, in order to save the other units?
I'm quite sure the military is about...
That's the only place where those decisions have a place.
I'm quite sure it's about performance. How you have to do well. You have to perform your duty properly and above board. If you don't do that, you get demoted or kicked out or thrown to another section. How the heck how do you go from... I just don't understand how you go from this sort of mentality of meritocracy and saying, oh, no. I understand that socialism is so needed in society after going to the military. It's like, no, I've never met anyone from the military who's given me a political speech about the merits of socialism.
Yeah.
Nope.
Sounds very strange.
Something's not right here.
He said it works.
And
I don't know
maybe
how
it's
it
because
works.
everyone is being paid, but you can be dishonorably discharged for misconduct. You have a rank system that also affects your pay. What are you talking? What about the military is socialist? I think you're mistaking camaraderie for socialism. Which is, by the way, why the socialists call each other comrade. They appropriated that term. The comrade, the camarade, is the guy you share your room with in the military. That's it's your chamber mate, not M-A-I-D, but M-A-T-E.
Basically,
it's the mate you share a chamber with.
Also, like, the notion of, like, meritocracy is heinous to these people. They really hate when we bring that up.
I'm just confused. Like, how do you get this way?
Yeah.
And of course, she chose this.
I think he just wants his mummy back. That gives him who gives him everything.
I don't know. Anyway, three super chats from Mike Testa. In other words, this man is nothing but a damn fraud. I don't want to say that. He just sounds very strange. I don't.
Yeah, I believe he was in the military,
fraud,
but I don't think he had to do anything relevant.
Perhaps, yeah, I don't know, but I don't want to jump to those conclusions.
Yeah. Here's Mike Testa.
He's certainly free to like think whatever he wants, but like it's just
he can think whatever he wants,
like really cherry picking.
He can think whatever he wants, but he's fucking dumb doing it.
You know. When has it ever worked, Wes?
What?
Socialism. When has that ever worked?
I don't know. Ask Mao Zedong.
Neither do I. I also like from like
posted a picture in the Discord group.
Let me see.
Here's Mike Testa. There's a Mad TV parody called The Power Slut Girls. Really? Holy, that's old.
It's probably better written.
Oh, for sure. Mad TV is great. I love Mad TV. That's what people were watching instead of Saturday Night Live and all those other dumb, bad parody American shows. Mad TV is actually funny. Here's Mike Testa one more time, and then we'll get back to the video. It's horrifying how the CW is unironically do it. It's horrifying how the CW is unironically do it. You mean their mentality?
We will understand the sentence by the end of the video.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just unironically doing it. Or maybe
10 super chats later.
That's Mike Testa.
Exactly, but yeah.
I just love that people are talking about Powerpuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anything just not Maggie.
Yeah, it's like, who cares about what Maggie thinks? Talk about Powerpuff Girls.
And why that script is insulting.
Yeah.
Let's hear the Socialist Manifesto.
All right.
Yes.
But also, it reinforces the classism in the United States. The Straight Story does a really good job of showing that the need for community, I guess.
Sure.
Talking about traumatic stuff is not something that is easy for anyone. And so finding somebody who you can actually relate to is even harder.
You don't need a political
than
system
just being
behind
able
that.
To talk to somebody about it.
Yeah,
And it's
a political
that
system is not going to do that for you.
Veterans have a lot of shame about.
Yeah, exactly. A political system cannot do this for you. The state cannot give this to you. The state cannot give you community. The state cannot give you family.
So they may
family
promise,
is something
but they
you have
always
to
lie.
find or build. Family is something you have to keep. If you don't have family, yes, that is when you want to rely on the state or religion, because that is what people use mostly to fill that gap of a lack of a functioning family. Because in a functioning family, you can get all these things. That is your community. That is your if you have a functioning family, a loving family with true familial love, then you have that place to rely on. You have that place where you can open up and where someone has your back. You have that. The state can never substitute for that. Never. It's impossible. Rather, the socialist state wants to weaken that type of community, the family, so that you are dependent on the state. Socialism is the worst thing that can happen to you if you're seeking this kind of community. Socialism is the opposite of that. It doesn't want you to have any bonds but bonds to the state. And that's what you don't get. You think you believe in this magical thing where if you have socialism, we are all brothers and sisters together as this giant million people family, because you believe in something that only a cultist, a brainwashed maniac cultist can believe in, because you crave this feeling so much you have no idea where to get it. So you believe in this illusion, in this utopia that is promised to you where you get this. Join a cult and that's where you get this.
Like,
join any cult. That's what they offer.
I've seen this exactly like what this was saying, that like there are like these delusional people. Like I think I had like my ex-workmate who was saying that like, oh well, he really wants like a communist revolution here because like then like people can finally work together to achieve things. And I'm like, when did that ever work out for that system? Like how is that like gonna like push forward just because like you're a different political system? Like people gonna like change entirely. The mindset's gonna be the same. The evil is still going to exist the way it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And people are working together to achieve things despite socialism.
Yeah.
You don't need that for that. Rather, socialism just forces you into groups that don't work. I mean, do you remember when you were in school and there was group work projects and you were put into a group? Everybody had to be with 3 or 4 people. And you had to do a project together. How well did that
sounds
work?
like socialism.
Yeah, but in Germany we have this all the fucking time, and everybody hates it. And then you have 3 kids in a group or 4 kids in a group, and you have to work together to do this project. And then usually it's only one kid that does everything, and the others just don't do anything.
Yeah, that's.
And then everybody, but the grade is given to the whole group. And that's when people learn to hate group work. The kids especially the kids who do the fucking work because they want the actual grade. And the lazy kids, they get the good grade then. And
they're the only ones that like it.
Yeah, and you know what?
We had to do this.
I was at some point I was so pissed off this shit that I became a pissant. It was in the time where I still was a A grade student, but it was one of the times where I thought I'll get my A at the end of the year anyway. You know what? This time you kids work. I won't do anything. Fuck you. So we ended up with I think a D or something, the equivalent of a D, and the other kids were really pissed at me. Because they expected me to do their fucking job. I said no.
Yeah, that really gets irritating.
Yeah, and that 1D didn't mess up my A at the end of the year. But they just got another bad grade. So how about that? How's that socialism for you? Is everybody working together? There were 3 other kids in that fucking group. They could have done something. Well, shit.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Most of these like because Viz probably knows better, but they are like some of these people who certainly believe that like these socialist or communist systems worked because like everyone had jobs, so like that means that like it was functioning, so like everyone could find like what they want. But it was outlawed to be unemployed.
Yes.
So like when you literally have to go to jail if you hang out on the streets, then like of course like they're gonna be pushed to like do that. But like they never talk about all those mental institutions that were kept to like have these people locked up or like things like that. It's always like these like statistics like, oh, everyone had a job.
Yeah,
And never cared about the
and then
people
you get
themselves who lived in it.
and then you got proverbs out of that as you pretend to pay us and we pretend to work.
Yeah.
And then of course
it
you had
still
people who
has like
couldn't.
the same problems that like you might have like a incompetent like leader, and like he doesn't know like how to run the business, but like he's like friends with like someone who is higher up, so like he doesn't have the consequence. He can just run this like business sham forever.
And you had also situations where you had the low intelligence people, because they also needed jobs, were given jobs, and everybody just said, okay, everybody then took care of the guy. Like, you're just gonna mess things up. Don't worry. Just sit in the corner, do your thing. Just draw something or whatever, and just don't get in the way. That's
still a thing. Not, even today, like in some places.
Yeah, and that's not how you that's not how you run a company. You can't just put people in places just so your statistic looks fine. It's horrible. And then you had other problems with because socialism told you where to work regardless of your capabilities. So you usually got a job that you weren't fit for. Either you were too intelligent and completely wasted, or you were not intelligent enough, or you can be intelligent and have absolutely no talent for certain physical labor because you're just clumsy, but you're a good thinker. So putting you to a physical labor job is completely counterproductive in every way. You're wasting someone's brain, and that person's gonna mess up the physical labor job. But that's what socialism constantly does, because they think they have it all figured out and everybody's the same anyway, and it's just fucking horrible. That's not how it fucking works. Yeah, and people had to. The thing is, people had to get anything done under socialism. People had to organize around the mistakes that the Central Committee and everyone else was doing. All the orders they were given, they had to work around those things in order to get anything worthwhile done. And that is just endlessly frustrating. And that's why some people prefer to kill themselves under socialism, because it was just unbearable. It was psychologically unbearable. And then the state comes around and takes away your children because you dared criticize the government, or rather, someone claimed that you criticized the government.
Yeah, those things were.
And then your children get taken
let's
away.
Have that system again. Or
and get force adopted into a conformist family. Well, what is that when in Canada and some US states they take away the children at 12 because the child claims to be trans, and the parents say, no, what the fuck? And then that's what's currently before the courts. Like, what the fuck?
That happened in Canada, didn't it?
Yeah, that happened in Canada.
Yep. And they say it's child abuse not to transition the kid just say, I'm trans. Like, no. It's child abuse to transition the kid without question. Like, I'm sorry, the Canadian court system, the American court system, and wherever else that is happening right now, is actively facilitating child abuse. And in socialism, you will have the same thing, just with other topics. Just no, socialism is not a good thing. And socialism cannot work. Socialism is predicated on endless policies that are just counter reality, counter humanity, counter economic basics, counter everything.
Counter sanity.
Yes. It's a delusional system that maybe works if you... Well, no, not even computer simulations. You need, in order for it to work, you need entities that are not humans. Great. Why do you invent a system that doesn't work with or for humans? What is that worth to us? Oh, then we need to change the humans. No, then your system is fucking shit.
Okay, guys. Let's keep going. We got 5 minutes left. I'm sure the last 2 will just be a joy to go through. if this is what we have to like, this is 5 minutes left. This is crazy that a veteran is talking about socialism, how great it is, and you're like, wow, okay. I don't think Americans are teaching that in the military, but I don't know these things, but maybe they are. Who knows?
Yeah.
About their PTSD, and they don't. And like I said, it's something that you don't want to admit.
You don't have PTSD.
It was a very touching, moment in that movie, and it was very, very real. I think Rambo 1, I will say, is the best Rambo.
Oh, absolutely.
I do think Rambo 1, especially.
It's not debatable.
I think it's really great because it has this aspect of dealing with cops and being unhoused and facing that kind of thing is something that's so common. It's more common with veterans than a lot of other groups of people. And it's not like he's even trying to stay in the town or anything.
Yeah, he was almost like leaving on his way out. Yeah. And the cop was like, I need to assert my authority over you.
Because Rambo's special forces veteran and everything, you can make a movie out of it. But a lot of unhoused people don't have any recourse for that. They just get bullied by the cops. That is a very real thing that, of course, I didn't really think of that much for this viewing of Rambo specifically. I mean, I've spoken to Vietnam veterans just because when you're in the VA trying to use services, you end up you run into veterans and you talk and you share stories. And the whole being spat on, the baby killer thing, that doesn't tend to happen. This generation of veterans has a lot in common with Vietnam veterans.
Doesn't tend to happen? In what century, in what decade are you living?
It's just that these politicians and these wealthy people said we need to go here for whatever reason.
I mean, is he equating his present day experience with the times of Vietnam?
Yes.
Is he retarded? I keep telling people, socialists do not understand linear time.
People who are a little bit more familiar with the Iraqi War and the Vietnam War, are these two conflicts even remotely comparable in terms of the horrors that happened?
No. I don't think so. No,
totally different.
And I guess all the cops.
As far as I know, it was kind of they're similar in terms of guerrilla warfare after a certain point in time, and there's still problems with various terrorist organizations in the Middle East, but it's not the death count is not comparable to the death count of Vietnam or how stuff happened in that particular war in terms of just the body count and also just the horrors that happen with Agent Orange and such like.
But I was just curious because he talks a lot about how I guess the cops are bullies and they bully a lot of the veterans.
I assume some cops have a hard time reacting to an actual veteran because the way military men live after they are done with service, they are much different than your typical civilian. So how they walk even is different. So maybe they take it as he might be a person who can do a lot more harm if he gets into that situation. But I'm unaware on this topic, so I can't say much other than that.
Yeah,
I did hear that there was a case, some cases where some random civilian was trespassing at a veteran's home in US. I do not know which state, but apparently this woman decided to go to court with this. That apparently this veteran was just asking her to leave the home, and she did not. And then it was turned upside down, and the veteran was fined for harassing this woman badly. And then this veteran got really mad. He got mad to the point that he was burning the American flag and his decorated clothes that he got from the military.
All right. Okay.
So I guess it's an existing problem.
Yeah, perhaps.
But who knows? Because like Maggie always turns the narrative to like whatever she wants it to be. So
yeah,
it must be cops bad, and no protesters are mad at the military, while the left thinks that the military is fascist. Right?
So the military is socialist or fascist now.
Yeah, the left hates the American military, unless of course they get health benefits and the alleged the alleged trans people get their medical compensation for transitioning from the military. Like, what the fuck is wrong with your country?
Pregnant women, yeah. I don't know. It's just there's so many things that are conflicting with each other, and we're in clown world now. It's just weird.
And here, if he's a good example. Don't get me this bullshit that these alleged trans people just want to serve their country. They don't. They just want health benefits. They want their shit paid for by the military, and they don't want to get into any hard trouble for that. Those are the exceptions. The exceptions are the ones who really want to serve the military. Really want to serve their country. That's the exceptions. The most of them, all the ones who argue for, I want trans bathrooms, I'm so oppressed in the military. No, these people don't care shit about the military. These people don't care shit about America, about American values. They just want their shit paid for.
Yeah.
And they are not patriots, and they are not good soldiers. They can't be. That's not in their spirit. It's not in their mind.
We got 4 minutes left. Less than 4 minutes.
A reason, and we don't know why. It's just, no, you go here and you secure this area. I hate hearing Ted Cruz or even Joe Biden saying, God protect our troops, because, man, you have the ability to do that. Don't ask God to do it.
Yeah, like why are they gonna...
Then why, if you think you don't need God to protect you, then why do you need the state to protect you? Can't you do it yourself?
That's interesting.
Can't you stand on your own two legs? Can't you build your own little community, your friends and family? Can't you do that yourself? Do you really need the state to tell you, this is your friend now, your state mandated friend, this is your state mandated wife. Please give us 2.3 children.
Man, Maggie's just enjoying this. Someone who thinks like me, yes.
Maggie has no clue about the world, much less the military.
I
don't know what to make of this guy.
There is nothing wrong with an American president saying God save or God bless our troops. There's nothing. Yeah. I've heard that all throughout the years. I don't care what religion their background is. It doesn't make a difference. It's a sentiment shared that we care about our troops, even if they don't know how to care for them properly, because we hear all kinds of bad stories of VAs not being treated properly after wars.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I bet Biden could do more. I bet all presidents could do more for individuals, because the system does not always work for everyone. That's true.
Yeah,
but the problem is that like more money kind of mindset is that there's always like a magical source of money for like these socialist things to run.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes to like, oh, like can we like fund this and that? Like every time, like, oh, we have to like sell this first and not like give it money for that. It's just give us a plan. Give us a fucking plan.
They don't. And
never
I
have
think they do not understand value. They do not understand money, and they do not understand how the two are connected. They think it's one and the same, and that's why they think, oh, if we need more money, we just print more. Oh, why is there inflation? I don't understand. Why are the prices going up? We just printed more money. We need to print more money so people can afford the things. Like, Yeah.
Let's just give everybody.
Oh,
money.
let's increase the minimum wage to $50 an hour. Oh, why are the prices going up? We need to print more money and increase the minimum wage so people can pay more. Why we need to increase it to $100 an hour? So why are the prices going up and the rents going up? We need to increase the minimum wage and print more money. Why are the prices going up?
Oh yeah.
That's the endless cycle. It's insanity. They do, and this is go all the way back to John Maynard Keynes.
Yeah.
And find out what this guy really is, what he believed in, and what he did in his free time.
Yeah. So we keep going. We got only a little bit of time left.
Here is Mike Testa. Then how do you even exist outside the womb, you dunce? Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That is not the guy from Cinemassacre. The guy from Cinemassacre, John Rolfe, is far more appealing than this guy.
Yeah. So the TLDR of what I just said is this guy rejects God, but doesn't realize that he substitutes God with the state. The state is his God. And he wants that God, the state, to protect him and to care for him in every way. And that's Oedipal. That's an Oedipal relationship. An Oedipal dependent relationship.
Yeah.
He wants that for all of us.
I'll just let the stock market take care of me, since right now it's a really nice time to get in.
Oh, it's always a good time to get in. But anyway, that's another discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Let's keep going.
It's a chance! Like...
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Christian. You can follow Christian on Twitter, link in the description box below. If you haven't seen the straight story, I really do hope that you check it out. It's the kind of movie that's so powerful, it really can't be spoiled, even if you know the ending. Which was why I didn't feel bad about talking about all these plot points, knowing that most people haven't heard of it. Watching it also really opens up David Lynch's other works in interesting ways, since it's a completely different side of his artistic voice. And the next time you watch Rambo, I hope you're able to appreciate it as more than just a goofy action movie, despite the large ideological turn at the end, of course. There's a lot of depth to these
It was
stories.
even more than just a goofy action movie before, like, whatever, like you were saying about it, Maggie. Like, there's like
Rambo
so many
movie is
things going
brilliant.
on in the first movie. I can give it to you that, like, the other Rambo movies are just like silly action movies, but the first one is like even like the very beginning, like you can see it's much more than just like dumb action. It doesn't take like a genius to see that.
No, it doesn't. She's just an idiot. Like, oh god.
All right. Is this the last part?
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Yeah, she's just going to jump into her Patreon spiel. I don't know.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope. Let's
Stories. Yes, even to Rambo. But the ending of each film is so simple. Two men connecting for the first time in years. Rambo ends with two men hugging and Rambo crying. And the straight story ends with two brothers looking up at the stars, just as they did when they were best friends as young boys. The American concept of individuality has always only been for straight, white, affluent men.
No.
No. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Oh god.
Oh,
insane.
The hand of God.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I got fat fingers like Hawk.
Individuality is for everyone who is grown up, who is mature enough to be himself or herself. Individuality is something you develop. That's based on a personality that you have to develop. I'm sorry, Maggie, you are too emotionally immature to have a personality. That's why you have no individuality.
Emotional maturity? What's that?
You're a white woman. It's like, knock it off, dude.
Like, American dream. There have been a lot of people from minority communities who have gotten fairly rich.
Yes.
Like
I went to a hospital. Like a lot of successful diversity there.
Yeah.
Look at Nigerian immigrants to America.
Also,
they're doing well.
Sports is pretty full of most of the. Aren't most of the famous basketball players in history African American?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they are much more competent
Tiger
than
Woods.
white or like any other race.
Last I checked, Tiger
taller.
Woods is also Tiger Woods. Last I checked, is a black man, and he's the most famous golfer in history.
Hey, what about Floyd Mayweather? Why is Maggie so obsessed with race?
Well, she's a racist with prejudices against all races.
Because
she thinks the white people are evil and oppressive, and that only good and that they are gatekeeping all the good things, and every other race is too dumb and incompetent to claim that for themselves.
But why does she hate herself so much? Because if she had like a mirror, like she could like look into it, like, oh, I'm a white woman, but like, oh, it's because like it's man, it's totally different.
She is like I forgot the name. I think she's like that white woman who made up this power plus prejudice equals racism bullshit. Which is the left's redefinition of racism, which is why they come up with this shit that you can't be racist against white people and only white people can be racist because they're the oppressors and they're the majority when we're actually not really. Because she mistakes it the same way that woman mistakes it. She is mistaking her class privilege of being a bourgeoisie as fuck, rich woman in probably a gated community of people just like her and of the same race. She mistakes that class privilege for race privilege. Isn't she the woman who thought that the middle class has every middle class family has a swimming pool?
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah. I am middle class and I do not have a swimming pool. I have a tennis court.
Here's
silence. Crickets. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. I apologize.
Here's Tyler Preston. So did this bit just say that non-white people like myself don't have any individuality of my own? That I'm part of a hive mind? Wow, screw you too, Maggie.
Yes, and all people, and by extension, by conclusion, that statement also means that every one of your race or ethnicity is interchangeable and exactly the same. You all think the same, you all act the same, you all look the same, you all like the same things, you all hate the same things. You're essentially all just one person copied over and over. You're all clones.
And you're not even cool clones like shinesters.
And you need Maggie to lift that oppression from you.
It's like, fuck off. No. I can do
Maggie
that
will
myself.
save you. Maggie will enlighten you, bring you
a lot of
to,
people can
to
save
divinity.
themselves. It's really getting annoying. These people trying to pretend like they're saviors. That they have all the solutions to all your problems.
I never hear the solution. I only hear, we should do socialism. Okay, what kind of socialism? what of socialism do you want to do? Socialism? Yeah. What policy?
It's gotta be social.
Everybody should work together. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
We are already working together. What then?
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a bad Sesame Street sketch.
Well, you know what? This was not her worst video. This is actually pretty tame. She just interviewed some guy.
It's...
Aside from that, it's pretty okay.
Yeah, all she said was imperialism, racism, the patriarchy, and that crazy guy she interviewed. That's...
we might
and that Lynch movie, I didn't know it existed. It seems pretty good. I think I'll give it a watch at some point.
We might be running out of like bad Maggie videos, like the really bad
we might run out of it forever.
Maybe they're just getting boring because she repeats the same shit all the time.
This was really this was really
something else.
This one was really just tame.
Yeah, well, especially
she didn't talk about everyone's gay or something, so
Yeah, like from the title,
Yeah,
I was
really
like thinking
thought-
like it's gonna be like some LGBT video because it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
straight story.
Yeah, I
Like,
didn't.
oh,
I didn't
Rambo,
know
the
that was
straight
an
white
that was a
cis
movie
male.
title.
I was like,
I thought
oh
she was-
no, please God.
Yeah,
But
I thought it
apparently,
was
like
a
this old
movie.
guy is some Japanese warlord who like was having a bunch of sticks.
I guess we could. Oh, I guess.
Why was that in there?
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm looking at it. Maybe my octopus teacher and environmental horror and analysis will be somewhat crazier.
Oh my god. I watched my octopus teacher with the people on the Laser Addicts server of Adam and Sitch, and it's pretty cool thing.
Okay.
Don't ruin it, please, Maggie. Don't ruin it.
All right.
It's a wonderful little documentary.
Let's try to finish this one off. Here's the last super chat from Mike Testa. She just said she wouldn't spoil the movie. Yeah. Okay, Mike, relax.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, she just said the ending, right?
Oh.
Yes. Yes, it was.
True.
By the way, I
feelings.
apologize.
We'll figure it out.
Skipping back, I just I got fat
It's a
fingers like Hawk, I
transgressive
guess.
act. And that might be the most important lesson that
There's
we
a
learned
hawk in
from
all
David
of us.
Lynch and his beautiful straight story. And from Rambo, I guess. Thanks, Rambo.
War. It's fantastic.
Whew, wasn't that a touching conversation?
No.
I'll be right back in a moment to wrap things up, right after a brief message from our sponsors.
This video is brought to you by Curiosity
Okay,
Stream.
we're done.
All right.
Well, we
I'm
can
done.
skip a
What's
little
the wrap
bit
up?
of it, but there's still a little bit.
Oh
There's
God.
still a
Yes,
little-
yes,
For
a wrap up.
changing
This is-
YouTube algorithm. Sign up for Curiosity Stream with my link in the description. Get your Nebula subscription for free. And next time you tell your boss you're busy, you won't be lying.
I
Fish.
hope you enjoyed our films and
No,
conversation.
if I tell my
Thank you
boss
so
that
much
to
I'm
my
busy,
dear
I'm gonna
friend
get
Christian
fired.
Ramirez
Okay?
for joining me. If you liked the video, be sure to like,
I
subscribe,
hate
and
all these
comment
people.
below with a movie ending that always makes me
Yeah.
cry. Join
All
us
those
next time
people
when we
that
discuss
for
two
the
more
environment.
films and
You're just-
conversation.
Contributing to the problem.
It's getting late. Time to astro project
All
myself
these people
into
are part
a
of the
warm
problem.
lavender bubble bath.
Warm lavender bubble bath. I do not want to think about that. What?
Oh wow, so cool! I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she
Well-
embraces her. At least she embraces her crazy. That's you can give her that.
Oh.
Mm.
Well, at least that was.
So did Hitler.
Well, at least that was short. Well, at least it was not as crazy. I'll have to look through and find some real craziness next time. I'll
What
have to
is
look through it.
what is up with her deal of pairing up two movies together and talk? Like, can't she just focus on one and talk about that? Why does she have to like?
Because she has barely anything
could
to say,
have-
so like she needs
you
to
could-
reference 5 movies
you-
to make a
you-
25-minute
Yeah, yeah.
video.
Yeah, and her shtick is only to this thing is in this movie, and it's also in this movie, and also in this movie. These movies are all completely different, but this thing is in all of them.
Well,
Ah!
that's the same
Well,
joke we
the
were
thing
talking
is-
about with women, how their brain just connects things just because it can. And they don't shut up about it. It's like, this reminds me when I was a little girl, when I was 4 years old, and I remember a bunch of sticks my dad was smoking. I didn't understand it, but now I realize he was smoking cigarettes.
This is like that what Eddie chat like did with like Luke versus Kylo, and it like reminds him of Kendo.
Kendo so
What?
What?
Oh,
And then he
boy.
shows the video of those two guys with two bamboo sticks. It's like, that's not kendo. What the hell is that?
That's such a low brain take.
Could you imagine if she was a detective? Like, how
No,
would she figure
no,
out cases?
no. Logic? Are you
She would
kidding?
connect two random cases.
It's like this old case from
So,
1975 where there's a blind man who started eating people, and I didn't understand. It was like a cat.
Miss Fish, we have been looking for your braid for the past decade.
The
We
criminal
haven't
must
found
be a white
anything.
supremacist Nazi.
Yeah. And also the singular issue that you don't have to bring in Punishment Park into a discussion about Breaking Bad. You could do something. There's enough content in Breaking Bad. You could talk about it for quite
Write
a
a damn
while.
book on
To
it.
12 hours, maybe. Like,
Yeah,
I would say
because
that there's so many
Breaking-
things there. But like,
Yeah,
Punishment Park had to be brought up because like both of them play in the desert.
Yeah, and just Breaking Bad is the best show that's ever been written. Like, there is nothing higher than Breaking Bad.
There is, but yeah,
I can't think of it off the top of. I can't think of the top up of my head like something that like was of such a good consistent quality throughout and never like dropped to the degree that like most shows nowadays do. Like there wasn't never a jump the shark moment like what happened at the end of Grimm or How I Met Your Mother or Game of Thrones or
maybe
Revolution.
This is just my personal taste, but maybe Daredevil. I always really liked that show.
Oh yeah, I love Daredevil too, but I can't. Daredevil only got 3 seasons, unfortunately, and I need to watch the 3rd season, even if.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
I've watched the first 2 seasons, and then I'm just like, okay, I'll take a little break, especially since I don't want to watch the other shows that lead up to Daredevil season 3, since I've not heard good things.
No, they dropped the ball.
Especially with Iron Fist, by what I've heard, like that's not. I've heard that show isn't even shot well. Like
no, it's bad. They can't decide if they want to do American style shooting or if they want to do I guess the Chinese style.
Yeah,
it's just weird cuts in every fight. So like it's like someone throws a punch, but we never get to see that punch make contact, and so I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to say that I wish Maggie maybe grabbed a group of veterans maybe, and just heard different perspectives rather than someone
Just
who already
one
thinks
guy,
the way she
yes.
does.
I mean, Iraqi veterans. There's so many of them. Like I think like it's just because like both of them live in California, like they like same area.
Oh, they do.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed that in the bio.
That explains a lot.
All right. Well, I don't know if we have stream memes. Let me just go gander.
We have
There's a few.
God.
There's a few.
We can look at Tana in the meantime.
Okay, we got some. There's not too many. It's all right.
Oh, we do.
Yeah. Time in the military taught me people in positions of authority aren't inherently more competent. Anyway, we need more socialism.
All right, here we go.
Oh, bears.
My time in the... he just said that. My time in the military taught me people in positions of authority aren't inherently more competent. Yeah. Anyway, we need more socialism. Strange jump. Yeah, that he went from I need a job, I need all these bills paid to socialism. Good. Yeah, okay. Smudcast when they always finish a video.
I think they were expecting us not to have to do a 2-parter on this one, since that's what usually happens with Maggie, or at least 3 hours. Yeah.
This could have been about 5 minutes where she talks about Rambo and the other movie, and then interviews this guy, and that would have been fine. But no, she dragged it out.
Oh, yeah.
Since we only took like an hour and a half on the video, I think. Since like we started like 40 minutes.
Did we?
No, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we're almost at 3 hours.
Total,
yeah.
Because we had like a long discussion like before. I think it was about Zack Snyder at the beginning.
Yeah. We had some fun.
Oh, right, yeah.
We actually had a conversation, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Screw you. Un-Maggie your fish. Oh. Oh, can you imagine her designing an animal in nature? Like what she would do? Like, oh, God. Panel and audience of the Smudcast. Begin the video, middle of video, end of video. There we go.
It's not wrong.
No, for Wisp, it would just be getting angry and angry and angry.
Yeah. Well, this one didn't really make us angry like the Cats or Fight Club video did.
Oh, that was... The Fight Club just insane. That was just...
I really like this movie.
It's almost like you guys are disappointed.
Well, yeah, this is probably her simplest. It wasn't that complicated. It wasn't that long. She didn't have too many hot takes. She didn't say anything about fascism, which I'm impressed.
This is just. Are you on the next meme already?
Here we go. No, why did you do better on the assignment? I'm gonna fail. It's this guy with the freaking hat.
The Tyrolean.
He is a fedora tipper.
That's not a fedora. No,
that's a German hunter's hat.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know the name for it, but yeah, it's definitely German. Haha, great machine go.
Oh, Wiz, can you say that?
Haha, great machine go.
Joke's on you, Maggie. I am not oppressed. I am the oppressor, and it's.
What is Skeletor?
Matthias with.
Is that Matthias? Oh, it's
the Emperor of Brazil.
Yeah, Emperor of Brazil.
On the meme you made, Bear, that is an awesome meme, and yeah, that's how you starve. You need to starve the parasites. That's how you get rid of them. You either get rid of them or they grow up.
Hippity hoppity, this is now my property.
Stop feeding the parasites.
This is great. I don't know what's going on, but this is...
Mateus now.
He's like, Nigeria is mine.
And also Mauritania and Niger and Liberia and Guinea and Senegal.
Matthews explained this at some point, but I forgot.
He is Brazil himself.
World history is confusing, guys. It's okay.
I think he pinned a video.
Hippity hoppity, this is now my property. Probably like hippity hoppity, this meme is now my property.
I think this is a Victoria reference where he was playing Victoria.
Oh, Victoria. That makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Brazil was that much of a conqueror, so yeah.
Imagine if it was. The Sea of Brazil.
Say I need socialism again. I dare you. I double dare you, fish guts. Say I need socialism one more goddamn time. Maggie's face.
Socialism! And then...
Oh.
This is a Persona 3 reference.
This one is funny.
H. The hawk?
Maybe.
All right.
I don't know.
Special thanks
maybe
to...
that's why he couldn't...
to H?
She's betrayed us and has started getting her money so that he can eat the nectar, drink the nectar of her skin or something like that.
Oh my god. What? Where did that come from?
It's a mirror reference.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Holy crap, Dunn, what the hell are you talking about? All right. Maybe you're going through like a gore phase in your writing. I don't know. Maybe you're branching out genres.
Oh no, it's supposed to... Oh no, the nectar of her skin is actually supposed to be romantic.
Really?
Yeah, it's
like
a guy has a
Hideo
love potion.
Kojima romantic.
Yeah, there's a line where this guy has drunk a puppy love potion, and he's saying, I yearn for the nectar of my crush's skin.
Okay.
It's a really bad movie, but it's very, very funny.
I don't know what's going on here, but I think Bearserker just went nuts. All right.
Clearly.
That's enough. We're done. We can go home now.
Oh. Socialism?
Oh,
you guys
boy.
aren't going to get PTSD from Maggie Mae Fish?
No, this one was fine. It was just stupid.
Today, no.
Same shtick. Lots of filler material. Dumb interview. Weird interviewee. And patriarchy bad.
I think Smudcast has like a Stockholm syndrome with Maggie Mae Fish. Like we just return to just to suffer more because we just like so attached to.
Maybe we're becoming brainwashed every video.
Well, she did mention the patriarchy, so that's pretty standard. Racism, of course, and America bad because
Is she
Rambo?
third wave feminism or something?
Fourth wave, I think. I don't know. All the waves. She's just waving all the time. Honestly, Maggie is just a conundrum, and I don't want to figure her out because it's not worth our time. I honestly think it's an act. I really think half of this is an act. You can't be this crazy.
You think? I don't know. I think she really is crazy.
If she believed all this shit like strongly, she'd have written a book. She'd have done other shit along these lines, and all she does is make videos so she could sell shit on her videos and make more money from Patreon. That's it. It's all just money. So she's acting like a clown, and she's an actress. We know that because she starred in stuff. She starred in commercials we've seen. So
No, really?
oh god, yeah, the manscaping. What is it? Razor. That was a funny. I don't know where Mark found that, but it was like, holy shit, dude.
Mark, send that to me. I want to see it.
That was amazing. Was it
the Manscape?
Yeah, it was the Manscaped one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It was a commercial. I was like, how did you find that? It was recent.
Oh
too.
no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, was it? It was either you or Joker who found it. Must have been Joker.
I think it was Fairy Joker.
Yeah.
I think it was Fairy Joker. Yeah. I definitely think it was Fairy Joker.
I'll ask him later. I want it.
So here's Mike Testa. Final one. Woman, am I right, Smud? I don't classify her as a woman, really. I don't see her as a female. She may look like one, but she's not a lady. That's all for now.
I think that I think Nef
Maybe because the makeup
is. I think Nef Champion revoked her female card a while back.
Yeah, there's something when you get to know someone and you listen to their words, everything else is then pushed to the side once their intellect has been revealed. And when you listen to her, she sounds like a crazy nut job. That's in my head what's going on. And I can't see her. Yeah, she has a pretty face sometimes. Yeah, she has good emotion. She can express herself well. Again, she's a good actor, right? But I don't see her as that. I just see her as a crazy nut job who's making money online. As the only way she knows is by shilling her political crap through movies because she likes movies.
And it's usually when you are you don't know about that, you don't know her personality and intellect yet, then it's fine. And the other thing is, when that reveals, then you think, I don't want to have a long-term relationship with this person.
God, like she's a caricature to all of us. Yeah, she's just a crazy, weird. Cardboard
The other thing is, when a relationship with that kind of person works, if you are on the same mental and emotional maturity level as her, when you go above that, when you develop past that to the next level of consciousness, you can't stand that. It's really hard to stand someone on a lower level of consciousness and maturity as yourself. And that makes it the higher you go, makes it more and more lonely because it's harder to find someone you can have a conversation with. And maybe that's also a reason why many people want to stay immature. Because then there's more and more, I don't know, more
of your kind, right? Yeah.
Hard to say. Anyway, guys, that was less than 3 hours for a Maggie Mae Fish video. I'm impressed. Good job.
Yeah.
We didn't ramble too much. We didn't bash her too much. She didn't have much to say.
Yeah, surprisingly, she didn't ramble too much.
Yeah, I know. It was still like 25 minutes. Still a sizable chunk. But thank you guys. That was great. Thank you very much for your time. Dunn, good choice. I know you gave me 3, but that was the first one, and I thought that was the best. And those other ones look painful, so please don't ever recommend them again.
Why don't you want to watch Maggie Mae Fish talk about Tom Hackedecker versus Rob Snyder?
Scripted is bad enough. Unscripted streaming shit, no, is just gonna be boring and long. So no, that would be painful.
Okay.
I'm very interested in the Rob Schneider one.
Yeah, maybe the Rob Schneider.
can do. Okay, so we won't suggest the Snyder cut unless we're desperate. Got it.
We're not desperate for Maggie. I don't think that'll ever be a sentence we utter in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, guys, have a great night. Take it easy. Have a drink. Relax. It's Friday. You made it. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Go to bed if you're in that part of the world.
Or have fun.
Have fun and go
Go
to
to bed.
I'm your mom.
Bye.